Bang!
What's up, buddy?
We are back.
Rest in peace to John Witherspoon, the legend, the GOAT.
Shit, yeah.
What's up, Spoil the
What
Beaners?
Say, what's up, Beaners?
Because we said bang, bang, bang.
Oh.
That's literally John Witherspoon.
Oh.
That's why it made me think of him. And rest in peace, he's a Comedy Store door guy, one of our brethren, and one of the great comics to ever live and do it. And we appreciate you. And it's nice to say nice things like that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But what up, Beaners?
Are we doing good?
Yeah, you're still alive.
Yeah, we did it. You are
You know
still
what I mean?
alive. Congrats.
Congrats. We're glad, we're glad you're with us.
We are very glad you're here.
But yeah, man, we're so glad. Guys, another week.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys are it's a lot of beans at you right now. We
Right.
just did a bonus episode.
Right.
And it's more beans coming at you, and we ain't going to stop, and we won't stop
Can't stop, won't stop, bean stop.
until Hassan gets brought down for whatever other crimes he's committed. But
Not
until
famous
then,
enough yet.
we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, before we get into this week's movie.
Wait, I want to get into it.
No, we got to talk about last week's movie.
I want to get into this week's movie.
Well, you just wait, Derek. You just wait. I got to tell
I'm
you.
excited because you guys know why I'm here, and I'm excited to get into it.
I'll tell you
What?
about Cable Guy.
Oh, that was last week's movie.
Yeah.
That you never saw.
Yeah.
Because that's what this podcast is. Get on board, Dallas. What's up?
You know what it is?
Dallas listeners. Is this Utah listeners yet?
I think this is Utah listeners, too.
Utah. What up, baby? Salt Lake City. We loved it. It was
Yeah.
cold and it was sexy. And a lot of sexy white women.
Yeah, we love the Mormons out here in Bean Country.
And thank you for New Mormon Beaners. We love you. Hey, what up, though? Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. We love
Yeah.
you guys. And we haven't even met you yet, but we're excited to meet you in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so Cable Guy. You know what's crazy? I was like,
Yes.
oh, you know what? I'm finally glad I watched this movie that was on TV constantly and I somehow avoided.
Yeah, bro. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I was finally. It was. You know what? Surprised me was just how well it was shot.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller, man.
Yeah, it's really well. The shots are very clear. They're very cool. Some of them are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't.
The dream sequence is fine. It's great.
Yeah, oh yeah. When he has the crazy eyes and shit.
But he's still kind of being Jim Carrey.
Right, just a darker version, almost of whatever this dark character is.
Yo, that character is
It's
dark,
dark,
bro.
dude.
What'd you think about that guy?
Man, I was afraid of him less than I was sad for him. Does that make sense? I was like, oh damn, this guy's lonely as shit.
You're afraid of him.
A little less than I was, but he was scary.
He was very scary.
He was very scary.
Put him in jail, dude.
Yeah, and he what's crazy is that how much power he had. Even in jail,
That's so funny, though.
Right.
How funny is it how much power
he
he
had
had?
so much power.
How much power he had at the medieval place?
Yeah.
How
just 'cause
much power he had.
and how many people are really in debt to him?
Tell him, bro, he was J. Edgar Hoover.
He really was. He was wow.
J. Edgar Cable.
And
bro.
you know what's crazy? How literally the same guy, how little power he has today. Free cable? Fuck, I don't give a fuck about free cable. You know?
Oh, yeah. It's bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you get your fucking
Weird
expensive ass package out of here, dude?
Yeah, get your weird ass out of here. What are you talking about?
Free porn. I get porn. What are you talking about, dude? Porn. There's porn in my everywhere.
Right.
There's porn in the walls, baby. that's how much porn there is
You
now.
think I need stars?
Yeah, no, you fucking kidding me? I mean, I want stars, but I can get it through the internet.
Right. Yeah. It's so funny. It's just a sign of the times type deal.
Yeah, but the internet guy will be a different movie.
The part that made me laugh out loud the most, for whatever, because I didn't see it coming, because I don't think you mentioned it, so it really caught me off guard. But when he's trying to order the food at medieval times, he's like, "Thus thee verily," he keeps saying that's what I should do. That's what made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, he's stupid. I didn't mention that because it's just so much, but
That's
he
so
is
much.
stupid.
Yeah. Oh my God, laughed out loud. And you know who the waitress was?
It was Janine Garofalo, right?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
You said it, and right when you said you know who the waitress was, I was like, oh man, I meant to say that part. I just
Yeah.
didn't say that part.
Yeah,
it was Janine
Garofalo.
Garofalo.
Yeah.
Comedians in movies.
Yeah. There was just a up and down, just great choices, just casting wise.
See, it's probably great choices. Also, yes, I'm not saying not great choices, but I will also suggest possibly homies.
Yeah, I mean, definitely homies. Definitely friends.
Not that these homies are not killing the game and they deserve the
Right.
role,
Right.
but it helps that they're fucking homies. You know,
This is
those being homies in the movie.
This is I'm curious because I'm just curious to because you've seen obviously more Jim Carrey movies than I have. Where does this character for you in Jim Carrey movies? Is it a top 5 character?
I'd have to really start thinking about him, bro. I'd have to be like, all right, it ain't Ventura, it ain't Dumb and Dumber. It ain't what?
Okay, well that's the vibe I got from that of just like
It ain't one of his great, but
No.
it's like he has so many great. It's like
Yeah.
it is top 10.
Yeah, I would say like just from
And that's out of a top 25 level movie range you got.
Even just seeing Ace Ventura 2 and just say what that character was, I would say if I had to guess, this would probably like not like this is a bad character, but this is not in his like upper tier of characters.
Well, that's because this character also you can tell is a little supposed to be more based on reality here.
In what sense?
Like this movie is way more based on reality than Ace Ventura is.
Okay, yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's rooted in, not that it's not. I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
It's a little more realistic.
It's rooted in a little bit more real world than the Ace Ventura world. The Ace Ventura world is absolutely kind of like it's a cartoon world.
Right. Okay.
This isn't a cartoon world. This is a real world. It just has a cartoonish character in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that nigga jumping on Jack Black to dunk. That's cartoony as fuck.
Right.
But him like him just being at his parents' house playing games and shit.
Right.
It's just creepy. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Weird.
It's just like weird. It's creepy. It was a little more real.
You know what I read during you know how Amazon sometimes they give you the facts?
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact for this one is that apparently Jim Carrey was so bad at dribbling the basketball in real life. What they had to do is that they had to cut the amount of dribbling scenes he had. And then when he was dribble, they would just have him do the dribbling motion, and then they would CGI a ball in.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, bro. He was funny as hell out there on the court, dog. Everything he did was ridiculous. So it's like, that's funny.
Right. But
that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's also really funny to think of like, look at this guy that can do so much with his body.
Everything.
And he can't dribble a basketball.
Probably not a sports guy.
Yeah, probably not. If I had to guess, I don't know what his throwing form is like, but I doubt it's very good. If I had to like leave this episode with a hot take, I think that's the hottest take I have.
A hot take. I think the world would be like, yeah, of course, nigga. Why would the Truman Show guy throw baseballs well?
Oh God.
You know, he can be the Truman Show guy. That's his version of throwing a baseball.
Yeah, he's just a great character actor.
and hilarious, and like,
yeah.
God, he's so fucking funny, bro.
His face is just funny.
What'd you think of Broderick?
Straight man.
Good straight man?
Good straight man. You gotta keep the film
Leslie
going.
Mann is also a straight man in this.
Yeah.
She has no character.
Yeah, Leslie Mann doesn't. Well, Leslie Mann does. I don't know what makes her. She doesn't make any sense. She does not make any sense.
She's going back and forth. She's on dates with Owen Wilson.
Yeah, and then she like loves him at one point, and like if you really listen to their interactions, it's like how does this relationship even work?
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, she's so up and down with.
It's supposed to be something has to do with like he proposed, but he did it too early, and that's why they needed a. And then like now they're back, and like none of their relationship. But you can tell the whole movie they're like hey, we need a girl for some reason. We just need a girl for the cable guy.
Yeah. That's
so
it.
The cable guy can have a reason to mess with you.
Right. And also, Leslie Mann has. I think she's not attractive, but she's always looked 30, huh?
But you don't think she's attractive?
No, I think she's very attractive, but she's also like...
That's a hot take.
Yeah. No. I think Leslie Mann's very attractive, but it's clear
I think she's an ugly cow.
Yeah. No, but...
She's hot.
Clearly, though, like, she got that role because, Judd Apatow, whatever, but they should have gone with someone, like, younger looking.
No, I wouldn't say she got that role because of Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
Because, she proved later on in her career that she could fucking act, so it's like, she might have got that role because she fucking can act.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah. But, yeah, the whole, that aspect of the movie was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Also, where did she find Owen Wilson? Where did she work? I want to know more about her. Who is this person?
Yo, who is Owen Wilson, bro? Who was that nigga? Oh my God, he got his ass beat.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. Well, his day went from bad to worse, really, because he just wasn't gonna get laid. Someone who hadn't been laid in a while.
And they were
clearly.
gonna spit in his food.
Yeah.
Well, at least if they did, I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then he was fucking destroyed. That was a hard ass whoop.
It's really funny. He has a fake mustache the whole time. That's what makes it like, well, that's funny.
Oh, no, the funny part is when he pops up in the stool.
How? Because how?
How? You're like, oh, God, this guy's a fucking wizard. That's the problem. You're like, this guy's an evil wizard.
Because you've seen The Mask, right?
Yes.
It was kind of like a little like a more tamed reality version of him, I felt like, of that character.
Right. Except that's who, but that's who he just was all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
and I like you never find out his real voice.
Oh, The Mask. That also that's top 5. That's top.
Yeah.
The Mask is
I've
top
seen that.
That's top. Damn, bro, he's so But his career is crazy.
It is. It really is.
We didn't talk about the main thing. We didn't even talk about the main thing. The Ben Stiller murder. Oh. Do you think we're going to not talk about that?
Yeah, I forgot.
I was waiting on it. I was like, we're going to end on that.
No, the Ben Stiller murder. It was just so funny. Like,
what'd you think of it when you first saw it?
I like how it started off small.
A little quick.
Yeah. I like the when they played the 911 call. He's like, I think an Asian guy did it, and he's speaking Asian.
Yo, that sounds funny. And he said that like this.
Yeah, that was good. You know what that really would have benefited from?
No.
Is if this happened post Michael Jackson trial, because then you could have a scene of Ben Stiller dancing on a car and dancing, doing all that. Like that's what that was missing.
Oh man, it didn't have a final because I like that it ended on. You didn't like that it ended on the homeboy reading the book. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh, that's also not Andy Richter.
Who is that?
That's the other guy in Tenacious D.
The Andy Richter lookalike.
Yeah. A little kind of fatter, a little older.
But you see what I...
Yeah. He was someone famous. I can see how you got to Andy Richter.
And it was so quick. I was like, oh, it's Andy Richter.
Yeah. I like it. The guy was like, oh, this has been by me the whole time.
He starts reading and smiles.
Right, like there's a lesson to this movie.
That's what I was... No, that's why I liked it, bro. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
they ended it on some like South Park shit. Like,
right.
And we should all read more.
Yeah. It was funny. Like, it was really funny. It's just like, man... I wish there was more of it. You know what I mean? I felt like there was a long time in the middle where they didn't show the trial, and I was like, oh, I like
the trial. I mean, dude, brother, when they showed that they were like, the jury has like should be out in a couple hours, but you can get the movie now, and it's like, wait a minute, how the fuck? Imagine that, bro. Imagine in the middle of the OJ trial, they were like, that's when they dropped that new OJ show.
That people versus OJ Simpson, they'd be like, dude, they're on top of it.
I know.
They are on top of it.
Oh my God.
And talk about just tasteless. A guy just died. Yeah. And they're like, we gotta do the trial. We gotta not do the trial. We gotta.
Yo, that is the most tasteless shit. Hey, bro. Tasteless. Imagine. I'm talking about the actual OJ show.
Yeah.
What you mean, nigga? A person's lost his son, nigga.
Right. Oh well, that's time. That's been time. You know how it is. If it's enough, South Park did a great joke. Remember that episode of South Park where AIDS is finally funny because it's been enough time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's been. It's been
so
enough time. So you say,
wait, as a comedian, when is there enough time, bro? When can you make that joke?
Oh, bro, when people don't get mad.
So wait, you're making it the whole time, but the day it's okay is the day people ain't mad.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, I knew it was coming.
That's the right time to make that joke. Absolutely. There's no 20 years. It's like, hey, when are people not mad?
Yep,
okay.
That's how comedy works, bro.
And if it's drama, it can happen quicker, especially if it's like a murder, because people are like, oh, murder? What happened in the murder?
Yeah, murders are funny.
Yeah, comedy, it takes a lot. It takes a little more time than drama to like make. You know what I mean? Like if someone made like a flat out comedy about the OJ trial, you know what I mean? It might take a little longer than like all these things about OJ that are already out now that are so serious.
You can make a comedy about the OJ trial.
Well, now you can.
Right
definitely,
now? Oh, for
definitely.
Sure.
Now there's been like 6 serious TV shows about him.
And that nigga's killing it on Twitter actively. Right now. He just tweeted. You know what I'm saying? So he's murdering it.
Yeah.
And that's the cable.
Beaners. This is your intermission right now.
Before we get into the episode you are here for, really quick, thank you for listening.
Yes,
we love you.
We do. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes.
Please rate and review. That stuff matters. We could use the help, and we would appreciate it.
Yeah, tell your friends about the podcast. We know you love it.
Tell your friends about the podcast. We know you love it. You keep going back and listening to old episodes. That's how we know you love it. We appreciate that.
And follow us on Instagram @SpoilTheBeans, and then you can find our individual Instagrams. We're linked on everything. Follow
Derek
us Poston,
Sanamad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to Greg Scamato for making our theme music. If you want some more samples from him or maybe help from him, check out gregcanhelp.com.
Yep.
Yeah. And now back to your future presentation.
Hello.
Beaner. We're back.
With season 8, episode 1. Hello. When we get a bigger budget, we'll be able to get the gospel choir to intro the further seasons. Welcome to season 8, Beaners. Season 8, episode 1. A whole nother season of bags of tricks coming at you.
Look at my hands.
God.
They're crazy.
Look how excited he is.
Whoa.
He's an excited little Mexican boy.
Whoa, not even Mexican.
Man, we're so excited. We got dates, though. Before we get into your beans, we beans your face off, let's get some dates off.
All right.
Hassan, you know where you're going to be?
Oh, we're going to be in Salt Lake City. Turns out we aren't in Salt Lake yet, so.
I never know where we are.
Hey.
Right now, we could be in fucking Japan or hell. I don't know. But it's probably North Hollywood.
North Hollywood, if I had to guess. But yeah, we'll be in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys. Hey.
Bring me your fucking wife so I can smack her up for a pancake. Boom, boom. Hey, I'm a fucking wise guy. God, Salt Lake City, you guys are interesting.
And what are the dates we're there for?
Oh, we're going to be there the 14th through the 16th. Buddy.
Nope, that's Dallas. We're going 21st through the 23rd.
21st to the 23rd. That's when we'll be in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
And then the 27th, Hassan, where will you be?
Well, actually, the 25th, I'll be hosting for Grant Cotter and Joe Sib at the Hollywood Improv.
Whoa, look at you with the Hollywood Improv spot.
Yeah,
huh?
finally.
Congrats, buddy. That's awesome.
And then the 27th, I will be at Ice House, Pasadena, with Big Brown.
And some friends?
And some friends.
I will not be there for that one. But if you want to catch your boy Derek Poston, you can see me headlining December 3rd at Lestat's Coffee Shop in San Diego. That's Lestat's Coffee Shop in San Diego at 9 p.m. First come, first serve. It will sell out, and it's a free show, but the show is going to be fucking awesome. I can guarantee it. Get on it. And then the day after that, I will be at El Prez in Pacific Beach. That is El Prez in Pacific Beach, the El Prez Comedy Show. Also, that show starts at 9:30 p.m. First come, first serve as well. But if you want to get tickets, just look online, El Prez Comedy San Diego. It'll come right up. And yeah, I'll be there December 4th. And then that weekend, December 6th and 7th, me, Hassan, and Big Brown himself will be in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and that guy who beat his wife. Didn't he kick his wife? Or whatever he did.
Oh, no. Tyreek Hill beat his kids. The guy who kicked the girls on the Browns now.
Oh, I'm sorry. The guy who kicked his kids. Anyway,
yeah.
We're having fun with all of them.
Yeah.
It'll be a big
They won't
party
be at the
time.
shows.
We don't know. Hassan invites, when we go to these different cities, Hassan will hit up the superstar of that city, and he will invite them.
Yes.
To shows for free, but they don't come, which is interesting.
No, weird, right?
With Baker Mayfield, you should have came. You had nothing to do that weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, December 6th and 7th, that's where we'll be. And then December 14th, we'll be in Atlantic City.
Do you know the band that you're supposed to be opening for?
I do not.
Okay, cool. We'll get that one day.
Yeah, I'll get on that. Well, I'll get on that the week of.
Yeah.
It's literally for the couple people in Memphis who are going to go to this country band.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? We have a lot of listeners in Memphis because it's the home city, but not enough that I think would go to a country band. But they would come to a show, and one day we will be coming to Memphis, so make sure you come the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What else? Oh, yeah. December 14th, Atlantic City, and December 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we will be in La Jolla, California, back in San Diego. And those are the dates. Come out and see us. Come out and support. tfightk.com for all the shows with Brennan Schaub. If you don't listen to any of his podcasts, tfatk.com. Get shows. If you want to see us at all, whatever city you're in, make sure you just get shows to any of his shows, and we'll hook that up.
Hit us up.
No, we're not going to get you tickets, but I'm saying we'll let you know where to go to get tickets, obviously.
Right.
Clearly, that's what we mean. Are you guys excited? You beaners to start the new season?
Yeah.
I was not asking you.
I'm a beaner, no?
You're not a beaner.
Oh.
You're a fucking whatever you are.
Okay.
Beaners. Season 8, episode 1. You guys ready for a fucking movie?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking the beaners.
Goddamn, I'm going to slap you in the face. Stop interrupting me. Okay? Okay. Now, Hassan Ahmad, real quick.
Okay.
Can you tell me?
Hey, you know what I'm sick of?
You are interrupting me.
You know what I'm sick of?
What are you sick of?
I am sick of every
You're
time.
interrupting me though, right?
Can we deal with it. Deal with it. Every time you come up here and you ask me about a movie and I look like a fool.
It's funny. It's the best part of the podcast.
And usually I get to do a reverse one every season, but I didn't last season. So you know what, Derek?
We were busy.
You know what?
What?
Can you tell me?
Wait a minute. What do you mean tell you what?
Can you tell me what happens?
Tell you what happens?
In the movie?
What the fuck is happening?
Oh, it's a reverse for your bitch ass.
God damn it.
Bitch ass bitches. I'm the captain now, baby.
He's the fucking captain now.
I am.
It's a reverse, guys.
It's reverse.
We're in different fucking chairs.
Oh my God, you probably didn't notice.
I noticed.
Yeah, because we're in the room.
I was wondering, I was like, why the fuck am I in this chair and not that chair?
Yeah, well, I'm in this chair, Derek, and I'm asking you to tell me.
I watched the whole movie for no reason.
Yeah, you did, bitch. And tell me what happens in the movie L.A. Confidential.
L.A. Confidential.
Look at the fear in his eyes. He knows. Now you know what it feels like. Have you heard of this movie before?
It's a love story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a drama.
Okay.
It's a classic.
Okay. What's it? Who's the main character in this love story?
Tom Selleck.
Oh, really?
Tom Selleck
Oh.
and his mustache.
But who's he trying to? Who's the girl?
Helen Hunt.
Is it a girl? Oh, Helen Hunt.
So, L.A. Confidential is about a detective.
Okay.
Tom Selleck. His mustache.
Okay.
He is in L.A.
Oh, wow. All right, I like how you're picking up the context clues here.
He's a private eye.
Yeah.
He's a detective. He's a real detective.
Okay. Real detective or private eye?
No, he's a real detective.
Okay, so he works for LAPD.
And he's working on a case. Mm-hmm. And he's a single man.
Okay.
He has prostitutes sometimes. You know what I mean? He's a dirty boy. This is a dirty movie.
Ooh, bad boy.
All right? We're letting you know that this guy's fucking bad. This mustache has tickled some pussy hairs.
Okay, well, relax. Let's get back to the movie.
Okay.
We're not diving into your fantasies.
Okay, I know what this was.
Yeah.
I thought this was the episode of Blacked.
Yeah.
Okay, the movie.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the fuck happens in this movie.
Okay. Who's the give me the bag?
I know what happens in this movie. Duh.
Okay.
L.A. Confidential.
I'm sorry.
The movie that I also saw.
Right.
So, the cop, he's on this case, and the woman that he is, this prostitute woman, dies.
Oh. No.
I think I'm just doing Sin City. But yeah,
you do it. Okay. I like it.
She died.
Okay.
And he has to find out who killed this fucking hooker.
Oh, no. Someone's killing hookers. That's so rare.
Well, that is rare, and you can't do that. All right? And so he goes into, trying to figure out who did it. And everybody's like, oh, it's just a hooker, relax. And he's like, why is everybody telling me to relax? It's just a hooker. What the fuck's going on?
Right.
And then the whole thing, he finds out that the whole corporate, that hooker fucked one of the other top guys, and she knew some confidential ass
top
shit.
Guys in what? Other top guys in what? You said top guys.
Oh, like in the precinct, like in the
precinct.
In his
detective. So it's like an inside thing.
Yeah. She knew some shit that he was already suspicious of. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm gonna say some money shit.
Okay, some money shit.
Some money shit. That he was suspicious of that the big dogs weren't playing right. And then, they so that happens, and then he's like, oh man, so now he's on the hunt to just like putting clues together.
Okay.
To figure out what she knew, who this woman knew, and then in that he falls in love with this other prostitute who doesn't want to be a prostitute.
Multiple prostitutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they kill her.
Oh, damn, that's the second person that
Yeah, they kill that bitch.
Damn, so he's just falling in love with people.
Dead prostitutes.
Yeah.
And Tom Selleck can't get a break. He can't get one of these prostitutes to stay alive.
Okay.
And then it ends. It ends with hold on.
Okay.
It ends with a big fight scene.
Okay.
With him and his superior.
Okay.
Right? And he gets the better of him.
Mm-hmm. He gets the better of his superior.
Yeah, he gets the better of his superior.
Yeah.
But he finds out that he was the killer the whole time.
Okay. You really had it. You really had a movie at the end there. And then it went sort of like...
Oh, yeah. He finds out he was going crazy.
Okay.
And then they put him in a mental hospital. And then at the end of the mental... Right, hold up. And then at the end where you're fading out, you think he's going crazy. He realizes he didn't go crazy. They did they all set him up for real.
Oh, okay.
And that's how L.A. Confidential goes down. Okay. So we can not do this episode. We can do the episode I was going to do now.
No, we're not going to do the episode you're going to do now.
Fuck.
Save it. All right.
I was like 99% right?
You know what? You were more right than you actually probably thought.
Well, I knew there was dead hookers in it.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
What a crazy guess. I'm so glad I was right about that.
That right now. You're right.
That was the greatest guess of my life, and I'll take it.
You're not wrong about the dead hookers. Have you ever heard of this movie at all?
Yes, I've heard of it. I know there's famous people in it. I don't know anything about it at all.
Okay. Yeah, it was
like anything.
It was one of those big. I came across it randomly.
90s or 80s?
90s.
90s.
I'll give you some backstory into it was nominated for all the Academy Awards its year, but it lost almost every.
What year?
To the Titanic.
97. All right. This is a big movie in 97. Okay.
But it won 2 Academy Awards. It won Best Supporting Actress.
Okay.
And Best Adapted Screenplay.
All right. So, don't tell me who.
No.
Don't tell me who yet. I'll figure that stuff out later.
Okay.
So what happens? You tell me what happens in your version. All right, because my version was dope.
So we ready? What time period did your version take place in?
Mine took place in 1997.
Okay. So it's a Warner Brothers movie. We open up.
Okay.
I was like, let me add the the company.
Yeah, the stuff I wish I should do that. Sometimes I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna waste 30 minutes on it.
Yeah, just go Warner Brothers, Regency.
Adapted Brothers screenplay.
We open up on a postcard. It's a Los Angeles postcard. It's all shiny and happy looking, right? And we
wait, a Los Angeles postcard. Okay.
Yeah, and it goes from the post, and it says, "Come to LA." The sun shines bright, and it goes from the postcards, and it's just like this sort of touristy movie looking thing about LA, about how nice and bright it is. It's like old film. This takes place in the 50s. So it's like 50s looking LA, right?
Right now, this is the movie.
The movie, yeah.
Not the postcard.
Not the postcard. But he's showing scenes of LA now, which is in the 50s, right? So it's like 50s looking LA, and it's Danny DeVito's voice. It's like so clearly Danny DeVito's voice.
Okay.
So come to LA, sun shines bright, beaches are wide and inviting, Orange Grove stretches as far as the eye can see. LA Confidential. And now we see.
How many times have you seen this movie?
3 times.
Okay. Hilarious.
Yeah. I don't watch movies like you. You know that.
Yeah.
Right.
I was curious as to how many times you've seen this.
No.
This one.
3 times. It's a
because we're gonna have a listener out there who's gonna be like, I fucking worship this movie.
Right. And to that person, I'm sorry, but deal with it. He's just talking about how great LA is. Like, there's a bunch of plenty of jobs, and it's cheap. You can have a family, or you can be a star on the rise, right? And he talks about how. LA,
do you see anybody yet?
No.
Or you just hear him talking?
You hear him talking. It's all just these stock photos of Los Angeles or stock videos of Los Angeles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they sort of match what he's talking about. And he tells and there's this great TV show called Badge of Honor, and they show how the LAPD are these good guys that walk on water and stop crime, and LA is pretty much just like a Garden of Eden. Well, that's what they tell you anyway, because it's an image they're selling. They're selling it through movies, TV, radio. You'd think this place is heaven, but there's trouble in paradise. And now you see this old sort of gangster dude sort of dancing, with 2 girls. Like this nice smooth looking gangster rich guy. His name is Myers Harris Cohen, or Mickey C.
Mickey C.
And here's his bodyguard, Johnny Stompanato. And you see this
they say his name, or you?
Yeah. They say his name, Johnny Stompanato. And they show his bodyguard. And, Mickey C runs organized crimes. All the organized.
Do I recognize Mickey C?
Possibly.
Okay.
I didn't recognize the name.
Okay.
Right.
The face? You didn't recognize the face?
There's a lot of faces, and there's famous people in this, but there's also a lot of faces that are very familiar.
Okay.
Do you feel what I'm saying?
I know.
So it's maybe someone who watches way more movies would be like, oh, that's that guy clearly.
Okay.
That's what it felt like, right? So Mickey C runs all the organized crime, runs all the drugs, kills a bunch of people all the time, right? And how could this mobster be allowed to exist in a place where something so noble as the LAPD exists? How do we get this guy? Well, not too creatively. If it worked for Al Capone, it'll work for him. And then you see the cops pull up to his place and they get him on tax evasion.
Okay.
Right? And then finally,
Danny DeVito's telling you all this?
Danny DeVito's telling you all of this.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you sort of are in this grimy looking office and you hear someone clicking on a keyboard, on a typewriter, and it's Danny DeVito. So he's typing out everything he's saying out loud. So he's been typing this whole thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's writing a book.
So they get him on tax evasion, but all is not well because someone has to fill the void now that Mickey C has left. Someone with big balls is going to take his spot. And then Danny goes, remember here, dear readers, you heard this first, off the record, very hush hush. And he is a writer, or he's the writer of a tabloid, like a celebrity tabloid magazine called Hush Hush.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like you see all that, and then directed by Curtis Hanson. Screen turns black, you see the director. Cut to, we open immediately on Russell Crowe's face.
I'm not supposed to know this director? Did you say his name for a reason? Like,
no, that's what it just says. It just says, because it stops in the movie to tell you who the director is.
I'm saying, like, is he a famous director?
No.
You didn't have to tell me. Keep going. I'm thinking like this thing. You were like the guy who directed this.
No.
Okay.
All right, so we open immediately on Russell Crowe's face. Officer Bud White pops on the screen. Right? He's sitting in a car outside a house, and he's watching the house, and a man is like yelling at his wife, throwing shit, and like throwing shit around and being like loud. Like clearly this dude beats his wife.
Okay.
Right, and he's just sort of watching them, and his partner is sitting in the back of the car.
And it's the 50s, right?
This is the 50s, right? His partner is sitting back of the car just drinking, just drunk already, kind of like this fat slob guy. He's like, don't worry about it. We'll work it out tomorrow. We got to pick up more beer.
This is the Mickey C and his partner.
No, this is Russell Crowe.
This is Russell Crowe, the lead.
Yes.
Okay, and his partner.
Yes.
Do you know his partner? Do we know his partner?
No.
Okay.
Not partner, yeah. So his name is Bud White. So Russell Crowe is Bud White.
Bud White.
Right. Mickey C's in jail.
Uh-huh.
Right. So let's go back to the station. He's just drunk. He wants to go back. His partner wants to go back to the station. Russell Crowe calls in like, hey, send a car here. Pick up this guy for assault. Right? And then he gets out of the car, and it's Christmas time, so there's Christmas decorations on the house, right? So he stands outside the house where the guy's like beating his wife, and he pulls down the decorations, right? And so the guy's like, oh, what the fuck? And he like literally throws his wife. You see him throw his wife, and then walk outside to meet Russell, and then Russell beats the shit out of him. Just beats him, right? And he handcuffs the guys to a rail and goes, you'll be out, because he's on probation. Or you find out like the guy's on probation. Like, you'll be out in 1.5 years. And when you come out, if you touch your wife again, I'll get you on a kitty raping beef. And you know what they do to kitty rapers up in Quinton, right?
What do they do?
What do you think they do? They play a lot of Scrabble with them. It's really boring.
Oh, you get bored to death in there.
Yeah, you get bored to death.
You don't get like have fun gay sex like the other prison mates.
Not like if you just murdered a regular person.
Yeah, they have fun like gay sex.
Yeah. Prison's a lot of fun, guys.
Damn. Not if you get the Scrabble fucking sentence.
Yeah, well, that is a harsh sentence. So yeah, he handcuffs the guy, and they're waiting for the cops coming to arrest him, and then he goes to the wife and goes, hey, are you okay? Here's a towel. Wipe yourself off. Do you have a place to stay?
She beat up?
Yeah.
She hot?
Eh.
Okay. She'd be hotter if she was more beat up?
I mean, is water wet?
He's a sicko, guys. I'm sorry.
It's not, yeah. And she goes, Merry Christmas. He goes, Merry Christmas. All right. And then him and his partner head back to the station, to go back to the station, right? We cut to Kevin Spacey dancing with a beautiful woman. Sergeant Jack Vincennes.
Kevin Spacey?
Dancing with
the actor?
Appropriate aged legal woman.
Woman, not a boy.
Not a boy.
So he's okay.
Yeah. This is Kevin Spacey's good time. This is 97. Kevin Spacey is real good.
Yeah, he's sitting on the world.
Yeah, he is fucking killing it right now. That is for sure. And they're on like a movie set. They're on like a TV set, sorry. And so they're dancing, and she asks him what he does on Badge of Honor, which is a set they're on. And he goes, "Oh, I'm a technical advisor. I advise the actors on how to act like cops."
Okay.
Right? That's what he does on Badge of Honor. And while he's dancing, and him and the girl are hardcore flirting, right? And then Danny DeVito walks in and says, "Hey, Jack," says hello to Spacey. And he goes, "Oh, what's up?" He doesn't say it like that, but he goes, he introduces the girl to Danny DeVito and goes, hey, "This is Karen. Karen, this is Sid." Right? And then Karen goes, "Hey, Sid," and walks away all angry. She knows Sid, and she's mad, and Kevin's like, what's that about? And then Danny is like, well, last week I ran a story about dykes in Hollywood, and her name came up.
Dyke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's, this is like pre 9/11. Where you had to say the word dyke.
Well, that's because that's what a woman who licks other women's butts are.
That's what they were called.
I know stuff, guys.
Yeah. And it turns out Spacey is like Hush Hush's police contact. Right? The magazine that...
Yeah, I'm with it.
Right. So...
I'm still just trying to... I'm waiting for you to get me to the point.
Right. So they're...
What's happening in this?
Yeah. They plan on... So they're talking about a plan that they're busting this like this new young actor who's like the lead of this new movie.
Okay.
And Danny finds out that he has marijuana. So they're planning the bust so that they can get the best pictures and the best pictures of Spacey arresting the guy. So they know he has marijuana. They're going to bust him. And so they're trying to make it look good for the tabloids.
Okay.
And then, they're trying to like, how many cops do you want in the shot? Do you want like, if you want, and then Kevin Spacey's like, yo, if you want like the police, like a captain or a high ranking guy, it'll cost you more. Mm-hmm. Right. So he's doing this on the side. That's how he's making some side money.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So this is a hustle.
This is a hustle. Right. So they're just planning that out. Right. How to bust this actor. Now we cut to Sergeant Ed Exley. That's what, when I say these names, that's what pops up on the screen.
Okay.
Sergeant Ed Exley. And it's a young Guy Pearce.
He's hot.
Oh yeah, and he just looks. He's intense looking this whole movie.
Yeah, he's hot.
And he's
you
getting
seen the movie with him and Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy?
No.
The brothers?
No.
All right, I'll put that on the list. It's a good movie. Keep going.
What's it called?
Brothers that are those three guys.
Oh, that seems really on the nose.
It's a good movie.
Because you watch that movie, you're like, oh, it couldn't have been any of the other three guys. It had to be those three guys.
No. Yeah, they very specific movie.
Oh, man. So, Guy is getting interviewed by the newspaper. And, bro, the newspaper reporter is, I don't know his name, but you'll see him and you're like, oh, that's the dude in everything. Like, he's in, like, every commercial. He's been in, like, every...
Black or white?
White, weird looking. He's in, like, that 10 items or less show now or whatever the fuck. It's like, that was on...
Show.
Yeah. But no, he's been in, like, an episode of every sitcom. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been a big character. You'll see the reporter.
I'm excited.
And you'll be like, oh, that guy. Like, I've seen him at a commercial audition before. Like, he's literally in your life.
Motherfuckers be working, bro.
Yeah, he is in your life. And the reporter is talking to Ed, Guy. And he's like, being a policeman's hard, right? What do you think about the two policemen that were just beat? The couple policemen got beat almost to death the other day. And, like, do you think it's going to be hard for you, Ed, to live up to your father's legendary policeman status? So Ed's father's, like, a legendary policeman in the force. And Ed's like, nah, I just want to help people. And, I'm all about that. And the reporter goes, you're the youngest watch commander in the precinct, right? You're pretty young to be a watch commander. And then Ed goes, well, I'm only working tonight because it's Christmas Eve and all the old guys, they would kind of want to have a party. And you can see behind them, they're just having a raging Christmas party behind them.
And he's working through the Christmas party.
He's just working. He's watch commander.
Guy Pearce is working.
Yeah, someone has to work, right? Okay. It's like the Christmas party at the store when someone's back door for no reason. It's like that.
Someone's always got to work at the party. That's
right.
True.
Someone's always got to work at the party.
Somebody's got to close that bitch down.
Right. So, but the cops are having a wild time behind him, right? They're enjoying the party, and he's just, chilling.
Being a captain, right?
Watch commander. He's not a captain. He's just like he's kind of low on the police. He's a rising star in the police world.
Oh.
He's getting interviewed. Do you feel what I'm saying? But he's not like, and when he's being interviewed, the captain of the precinct walks up. And the interviewer goes, Captain Smith? And the guy goes, oh no, just call me Dudley. And he has this slight Irish accent too.
Okay,
he's
call
like,
me Dudley.
Call me Dudley.
Call me Dudley.
And he's played by Farmer Hoggett.
That motherfucker there, dude.
Yeah, right?
That motherfucker.
That fucking guy, bro.
He's gonna be all through this podcast. Let me tell you something. Yeah. He's in a bunch of movies in our podcast.
He's
a bunch of movies I know of. So I didn't even know he was in this one.
Yeah, he is a good actor.
Oh, he's great, dude.
He is.
He's literally great.
Like everything I've seen him in, I'm like, oh, I really like him in this. He's great in this.
One of my favorite movies. He kills it in that we're gonna do later.
Oh, nice. Right. So that's the captain, Captain Dudley Smith.
Dudley.
Right. So the reporter goes, "Thank you for the story, Captain. I'm gonna call this Silent Night in the Precinct." It's clearly like a nice fluff piece about the LAPD. Right. So Captain and Ed, Guy, walk and talk, and like Captain tells Ed how I got the lieutenant's test to see how people test it, and you got first. So what job do you want? And Ed goes, I want to be a detective.
Big boy.
And Dudley goes, look, Ed, you're a political animal, but you don't have the stomach for detective. And Ed says, you're wrong. And the captain goes, yeah? Well, are you willing to plant evidence on someone you know is guilty in order to get the right indictment? Ed goes, no. Captain goes, will you beat a confession out of someone? And Ed goes, no. And the captain goes, are you willing to shoot someone in the back who you know is a bad person in order to offset like what it would be to like let him go? And Ed goes, no. And he goes, then you're not cut out to be a detective.
Goddamn right, bitch. I agree with him.
And Dudley goes, I don't have to do the things the way you or my father did. Sorry, not Dudley. And then Ed goes, Dudley, I don't have to do the things the way you or my father did them. Mm-hmm. And Dudley goes, well, at least get rid of your glasses. No cops have those. Right?
His glasses.
Yeah. And there's something like a lot of this, like the dialogue is very intricate in this movie. So I missed a couple words here and there, but like all the scenes are like that. There's just this back and forth dialogue.
Like Tarantino or some shit. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Who directed it? Oh, not Tarantino.
Yeah. Well, I said the director's name, and you were like, "Oh, I don't need that." So
well, yeah, because I thought you were saying it like
no.
It was a guy that we knew.
No, it wasn't a guy. No. But like it's I like the dialogue in this movie a lot. All right. So now we cut back to Russell Crowe, whose partner's waiting in the car, and he's in the liquor store. They're there to pick up more beer before they head back to the station. Right.
Okay.
This blonde woman walks in. She's in a robe. She's in like a weird robe. You can't really see her face or nothing like that. But it's just a blonde woman in a robe.
I can smell her.
Yeah, and it's Kim Basinger.
I can smell her now.
Basinger.
Kim Basinger.
Basinger. Kim Bass Fisher. It's Kim Bass Fisher, right? She's gone fishing in this movie. I'll tell you that.
Fishing?
Yeah, she's gone fishing.
Oh
yeah, dude, she's unbelievably gone fishing in this movie.
By that we mean super duper swanky, everybody.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it means, but that's what she's doing. Kim Bass Fisher is great in this movie.
She's pretty hot.
Right. And, Russell sees her and goes, Merry Christmas. And she goes, Merry Christmas, officer. And he goes, that obvious? It's practically stamped on your forehead.
Ooh.
Right. So Russell takes his liquor and heads back to his car where his partner is in and puts it down. And it's like...
This is from the party, right?
Yes, this is for the party. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're going to the party. They haven't been there yet. And they see, and he looks up and he sees a car. And in this car, there's like a tough looking dude in the front seat, like a sort of rich, evil kind of looking dude in the back seat with like a thin mustache,
Ooh, I love that.
You know the type. And then there's this girl with bandages on her nose. Right?
The girl got her ass beat.
No. This is a different girl. This is just a girl with bandages on her nose. Right? So he walks over and knocks on the back window and like, hey, shows his badge, like, hey, are you okay? And the driver gets out and was like, hey, man, just leave us alone. And, like really aggressive, like, leave us alone. Yeah. Right? And then Russell pretty much like takes him and like,
cops him.
He cops him. That's a good way to describe it. He cops him, right? And he looks at his ID, the driver's ID, and the guy's name is Leland Meeks. And then I'm Leland Meeks, and he goes, "You Leland Meeks?" And he goes, "Yeah, former police officer." So Leland used to be a police officer. Do you recognize me? And Russell's like, "No, I don't." He doesn't recognize him, right? So he then walks to the girl, knocks on the window, and goes, "Are you okay?" And then the guy next to her goes, "She's fine." And Russell goes, well, I wasn't asking you. I was asking her. And the girl goes, no, you got the wrong idea. I'm fine, right? And the blonde girl who we was talking to earlier then gets into the car because she's supposed to be in the... Yeah, Kim Basinger is supposed to be in the other front seat, the passenger seat. That's where she was sitting. So after putting an order with the liquor store, she walks back to the car and goes, well, she's fine, but it's nice that you care.
Huh.
Right? So the driver gets back in the car and they like drive away, and then Russell's partner comes like as the drivers get in the car, his partner starts stumbling towards him, and Bud asks his partner, "Hey, do you recognize that cop guy?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, Leland Meeks. I kind of know him. I know him by name. I don't really,
Yeah.
Whatever." Right?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe asked his partner that.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe's named Bud, because eventually they say each other's names so much, I'm going to,
Just say Russell Crowe.
Yeah, okay, Russell Crowe.
That way I can see that nigga. Because that's who he is in my head. He's Russell Crowe.
He's Russell Crowe. All right, okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got lost for a second. All right.
Gladiator.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is the Gladiator. Wow, it is the Gladiator. My God, it's also just a lot of things.
He's fat now.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? So I read that Kevin Spacey's first build on this, and they pushed him real hard because at the time Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce were nobodies in America.
They were big in
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't know him.
Can act, bro.
So the studio was like, I don't know if people will watch this because these are two unknowns. Isn't that crazy?
And so they had to push Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Crazy.
Worked.
I mean, great movie. And also, it was a good choice. These two were. Those two
I wonder how it did box office wise.
$132 million.
On a budget of what?
35.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
that's really good for independent. We got to remember for this isn't like a.
Well, it's not an independent movie.
I mean, I say independent. I meant to say for like not the biggest budget in the universe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not a $200 million budget competing like Titanic.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this did very well.
This did well. This did well.
That's what if you put out a movie $35 million, they made 100 something. You did very.
You're getting another movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely getting another movie. Okay, so now we cut to Danny and Kevin Spacey.
DeVito, yeah,
are watching this young actor, and he's like,
the guy they're gonna
bust. The guy they're gonna bust. Not frame, bust. They just know he hasn't.
It's still it's shady.
Very shady. Yes, about to bust, and he and this girl are like about to have sex. You know, he's undressing her, and that's when the paparazzi shine all the light into the room, and then Kevin Spacey busts in, and then he arrests them, and they make sure to take a picture with like the movie premiere behind them because it's his movie premiering, so that makes this photo look spicier.
Yeah.
Like they fucking get the guy. They get him good. And so Spacey goes and just like, you know, he's doing police work a little bit. He's just looking at the scene. He takes the marijuana and he pockets it.
Oh, I love this Spacey.
Yeah.
I love bad Spacey.
And he sees a card for a company on the table called Fleur de Lis. And do you know what a Fleur de Lis is?
I've heard that word.
Yeah. Do you know the symbol that the Saints have on the side of their helmet?
Yeah.
That's a Fleur de Lis.
Nice.
Right. So it's a card that says the Fleur de Lis company. It's that symbol. And it's like black and gold, right?
The Saints.
This is a story about how Steve Gleason blocked that punt.
Now I'm really upset. Keep going.
This is how it begins. Dude, when I get to Hurricane Katrina in this movie, you're going to be like, wow, Bush doesn't care about black people.
Yep.
But no, so it's a black card with that symbol and says Fleur de Lis Company or whatever, right? So, everyone is coming back to the police station now. Russell and his partner come to the station with the booze, you know, to keep the party going. Spacey shows up with his bust, you know, the guy, and he's bringing him in. This is around at the same time. And Guy is just working at the front, just sort of like making sure things don't go out of hand, right? And Spacey goes up to Guy and tries to give him some of the money that Danny DeVito gave him for, you know, setting this up. And Guy goes, no, I don't want your blood money. No, you can have it. I don't need it, right? So they all go to the party. Right after they come in, a bunch more cops come in and they've arrested a bunch of Mexicans. And these are Mexicans that they believe beat up the two police officers the reporter was talking about earlier, right? So Guy was like, get them in the lockup, right? We don't want any trouble out here, right?
This is while they're partying.
So they take him down to lockup. But while they're taking him down to lockup, the cops upstairs at the party get wind of the fact that there's these Mexican guys that beat cops up downstairs.
Love this movie. A little bit of racism. A little bit of police brutality.
All right. I mean, a little bit now. So the officers then go from the party because they're wasted, and they start heading downstairs.
Yeah.
And they're all being led by Russell's partner.
Okay.
Right. And Guy tries to stop him. Guy tries to be like, guys, the party's up there. You don't need to go down there, whatever. And they just clearly don't listen to him. Right.
He's a good cop.
He's very nerdy. You know what I mean? He's not like a cool guy. Right.
He seems like a good guy.
You know, he's very by the book. You like him?
I like him.
All right. I like that you like him.
I like him.
I like that you like him.
You can't make me not like him, you piece of poop.
And then the next 2 hours is about just him running this child sex ring.
And now I love him. Yeah. I already liked him.
Right? So Guy tries to stop them, and they don't listen to him, right? Mm-hmm. At the moment they're heading downstairs, the reporter and his cameraman walk back in because they're like, oh, we need to take one more picture. And then they notice all the commotion, and they're like, oh, we got to go downstairs with him. We got to see what's about to happen, right? So, as they walk downstairs, you see Russell's partner, and he starts...
Is this black and white?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not black and white. It's in color.
Curious.
But it feels very 50s. Like the way they got the feel, the set, it looks very in its time. And the way they act and the way they talk, all that. So when the reporter got downstairs, Russell's partner starts beating the shit out of one of the Mexicans.
Russell Crowe's partner.
Yeah, Russell Crowe's partner starts beating the shit out of one of the Mexicans, right? And Guy tries to stop him, and everyone's like holding him back. And then Russell comes, and Russell gets through, and he breaks them up, right? He breaks them up. He's like, you gotta stop doing that. But while he breaks them up, the Mexican guy then talks shit to Russell. He goes, fuck your mom's a whore, whatever. And Russell's like, oh, okay. And he starts swinging. So he starts punching the Mexicans. And then the other Mexicans have their guy friends back. And then the cops start fighting. And then everyone is just fucking brawling down there, right? Even like Kevin Spacey gets blood on his shirt, which makes him mad. And he throws a punch, right? And Guy tries to stop it. But the other cops take Guy and they lock him in a cell. And just will let the whole thing play out. But they don't know the reporters are there. So the cameraman with the reporter is like trying to get a good shot of the brawl, takes a picture, makes that shutter noise, and you see the picture, and the picture's all in black and white. And then it zooms out, and it's a guy holding a paper that says Bloody Christmas.
Love it.
Yeah.
There was a reporter at the party that got this shot.
Yeah, so remember the reporter that was asking him questions?
Yes.
Earlier? He came back in at the last minute because he wanted just like another picture. He wanted one more quick thing, and then he noticed what was going on.
He just followed, like, oh.
Yeah, he just followed it. He was writing this fluff piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, right?
And that was probably the biggest story, of course. That would be Crazy Story.
Right.
It'd be crazy.
And bro, the picture just shows these, like, it's such a clear picture of these cops just beating on these prisoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good look.
Wow, good thing cops, nothing like that happens.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? It's like this.
I like that movies are movies and life is life.
Like I was like, this is how I know it's a movie, because it's like so not even close to what would happen in real life. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, this is like movies let you go to a place of your imagination where reality could never take you, and that's why movies are cool. All right, so.
And to our listeners who can't see our faces, that's your fault.
Yeah, yeah. Watch the fucking show. So, the guy holding the paper is like the police chief. So you see Russell in a room with the police chief.
Yeah.
And on the left side is the DA. And then on the other side is Captain Farmer Hoggett, Captain Dudley.
Hey!
Right? And they're
Where's the pig?
He's in New York. So they're pretty much, this is around that time in Captain Hoggett's life. So they're interviewing Russell about what happened and how this is like a nightmare and we need to like fix what's going on. And they want Russell to testify against his partner because they need a fall guy for this.
Of course.
And they're putting on his partner. His partner's name is Stansland. And Stansland historically is not a good cop. People don't like him. Okay. So they're trying to pin it on him. And Russell refuses to testify.
He's a real nigga.
He refuses to testify.
Okay, real nigga doing real nigga
right?
shit. I like that.
And
Gladiator.
They suspend him. They suspend him.
Damn, Farmer Hoggett.
Well, they're trying to find. They need someone to take the fall for this. Farmer Hoggett is on his side, but the chief suspends him.
It is what it is.
Right. Yeah. There's one guy above Farmer Hoggett. Right. So Guy walks in. Guy is the next person they interview. Right. He says that he is willing to testify immediately. He's like, yeah, I'll testify. And he says, we shouldn't just go after Stansland, we should go after Russell too, and a bunch of other cops who have their pension to show that we're serious. And the captain goes, well, Stansland's a bad cop. He's but Bud White, which is Russell, is an asset. And Guy's like, no, he's a thug. And the captain says, no, he's just a guy who can answer yes to those questions I asked you time to time. The writing in this is fucking
real nigga shit. I love Russell Crowe, dog. God, he knows how to play the realest dude.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Russell is fucking real in this movie.
Lieutenant Yuma style, baby.
Oh, dude, he's a great actor. If you didn't know. So the chief asks what Guy wants for the testimony. He goes, I want to be promoted to detective lieutenant. Right? And the DA is like, well, if you want that, we got to get another guy to testify. And because we just need more people to make sure we can get a conviction. And Captain, I'm gonna call him Captain
to testify against Russell Crowe.
Or testify against Russell Crowe and Streisand, his partner.
Everybody else.
Yeah, they need 2 people to testify. I'm gonna call him Captain Hoggett. And Captain Hoggett is like, well, then who's gonna testify? We all have good cops in this precinct. No one's gonna do it. And Guy says, well, Jack Vincennes will do it, which is Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
And the captain goes, Vincennes is a veteran. He won't rat on other officers. And Guy says, well, if you threaten his role as advisor on Badge of Honor, he will. That's his weakness. So the chief is like, all right, fine. For whatever reason, he asks Guy.
I guess the inner cop shit going on.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful. Beautiful. It's beautiful. I was like, damn, you're actually really a lot closer than you think. So he asks Ed for whatever reason. He asks Guy for whatever reason to watch them interview Kevin Spacey, right? So he goes off to the side to watch him through like one of those, the interrogation mirrors.
Oh yeah.
And while he's walking there, Captain Hoggett pulls Ed, pulls Guy to the side and says, "Hey, you'll benefit from this, but are you prepared to be despised by everyone?" And Guy goes, "Yes, I am."
Interesting, Guy Pearce. That's fucking interesting, bro. I don't know how I feel about it. I still like you, but I don't know how I feel about you because you were doing the right thing, and now you're like walking that line of like, are you doing the right thing?
Are you doing the right thing? But also at the same time, it's like that's the type of guy he is. He's
Guy Pearce.
He is Guy Pearce. He's one of the 3 guys they made that movie about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they bring in Spacey, and Spacey's like, "No, I won't testify." But then they're like, "Well, then you can testify, and you're in narcotics now, and as your punishment for testifying, we switch from narcotics to vice unit, and then but after a while you'll get to be back on Badge of Honor." And he goes, "Wait, I lose Badge of Honor?" He's like, "Yeah, well, you got to keep a low profile unless you testify." And then the captain is like, "He's not going to testify," and Kevin's like, "I'll do it.
I'm keeping my show money."
Yeah, he loves that aspect of Hollywood. He likes being the guy on the show who helps the show, right? So the chief, after he gets Kevin to testify, the police chief goes over to Ed and goes, "Well, you're detective lieutenant now, but can I give you a piece of advice? Lose the glasses." Right. So the next scene, this is right before the trial.
This is. They're like, okay, we're about to do all this.
Yeah.
So that's like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, but lose the glasses.
Right. Just lose the glasses.
Right. Okay, my frame of reference. And Farmer Hoggett said this.
No, the police chief. So the Farmer Hoggett's the captain of the precinct, but this is the police chief, overall chief of police.
Who was willing to do all this?
Yeah. Who's willing to and the DA. The DA is also
he's telling Guy Pearce you're about to step up, but just so you know, this shit's about to get nasty.
Yeah, she's about yes.
All right, I love it. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, it's all fucking politics, always, no matter what you do, isn't it?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, everything is politics. It's garbage and fun at the same time. So right before they have the trial, it's a grand jury trial. This is right before they do the testimony, and Spacey sees Guy in the hallway about to testify, and Guy is not wearing his glasses. He's got rid of them. Jack is like, "Oh, so you're the other guy." Spacey's like, "You're the other guy testifying," because he didn't know who the other guy testifying was. He's like, "Well, what do you gain from this?" And Guy doesn't say anything, and he tells Guy like, "Hey man, you just better watch out," because he explains to Guy how he figured out a way to snitch, but actually not snitch at the same time. He's able to. Kevin Spacey's king politic as well, so he's able to
Oh, I've seen the TV show.
Yeah. He's what?
The TV show where he becomes president.
Oh yeah. I forgot he did that. But he basically tells him he figures out a way to not actually snitch while snitching, and he tells Ed that because Ed's going after Bud's partner, Russell's partner. He goes, "Remember, Ed, Bud White will fuck you for this, even if it takes the rest of his life." So setting up that, hey, these two are not going to like each other. So we cut to a scene where Bud is in this weird dimly lit restaurant, and Captain is there, and he's meeting the captain at this restaurant, and the captain gives him his gun and his badge back. And he reveals to Bud that hey, it ended everything ended up being all good. Most of the officers got free. We got free anyway, and then Russell asks about his partner, and he goes, "Well, Streisand is going down. That is the scapegoat. He's the departmental scapegoat for this." And he's like, "Oh, whatever," And the captain says to Russell, "Hey, I have a job for you in homicide." And Russell's like, "Oh, so I'm going to be working cases?" And the captain goes, "No, it's a muscle job. You do as I say and ask no questions.
Just hog it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hog it. What you up to, bro?
and then Russell nods. All right. And now we cut back to DeVito's voiceover. You see two of these guys walking into a car. And you go, meet two Italian names, right? It says two random Italian names. They're fast risers in the mob. And they sit down in the car and they turn on and then they immediately get shot up. And then DeVito tells us that more and more mob men are getting shot and all of Mickey's men are being killed. Of the gangsters of Mickey C, all of his men are being killed by these 2-man hit squads. So someone is trying to come for his spot. All right. While someone is trying to consolidate by killing all of Mickey's people, the LAPD is trying to keep any gangsters from outside of LA from coming in and taking his spot. So they don't want like this to be connected to other crime scenes. So we cut to a motel called the Victory Motel. You see like the name Victory Motel. And it's like this really rundown, abandoned looking motel. Like clearly no one stays there, right? And we go in the room and there's a guy tied to a chair. And the Captain Hoggett is like yelling at him, like, telling him how like basically like go back to Cleveland. There's no room for you here. Uh-huh. And then you see Bud just beat the shit out of him. So he's the muscle guy. He's beating the shit out of him. All right. And then now we cut to it's Kevin Spacey's first day in Vice because he got switched from narcotics to Vice. That was part of his deal, right? And he's in, like the police room where they just do all the days. You know what I mean? The briefing room or whatever it is. He's in one of those, right? Okay. And he's handing out like stuff for this new like porn case. There's a guy that's like high-end porn and it's Vice. So they're trying to figure out who's doing all this, right? And Spacey doesn't want to do it, and his captain's like, well, or his lieutenant or whatever is like, well, if you want to get out, you got to break a case. Yeah. Just like fine. And then he notices on the case briefing the same fleur-de-lis sign
from the car dealership.
Not from the car, from the card at the at the bust.
The Saints.
At the marijuana, the marijuana bust, right?
Yeah.
So he calls the number on the fleur-de-lis business card because he kept it, and it's like this sultry voice. Like, what do you want? It's like, oh, I want to order one. Can you bring one my way? He's like clearly trying to order like a prostitute. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And the lady on the phone, Oh, dude, I told you were right about the dead hook. I told you up top you're right about the dead hook.
Your boy knows dead hook.
Yeah, he really does. It's frightening. The lady on the phone is like, wait, do we know you? Have I met you before? I was like, no. He goes, no, my friend gave me this. And then she immediately hangs up. Because he's trying to order a prostitute you don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she immediately hangs up. Spacey then calls DeVito, and he tries to find out info on who's making this porn, but DeVito has no idea, right?
Okay.
Cut to, we see Strensland getting fired.
Okay.
Right? His partner getting fired. Right. And all the cops around him like, hey, man, you got a raw deal. It's fucked up. I can't believe they did it to you. They're all on his side, like 1 week away from your pension, yada, yada, yada. Uh-huh. And then they see a guy walking up who testified against him to go to his new office, and Strensland just walks by him and poof,
knocks all his shit down.
Yeah. And so now Russell and Strensland are saying their goodbye in the parking lot or whatever, and he goes, hey, you want to meet up tonight or whatever? And Strensland goes, no, I got a hot date tonight, but don't worry, I got some things going. I'll be back. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll see you around. I'll get you lunch or whatever, right?
What's Strensland up to?
What is Strensland up to, huh? Let's see. So, we're back
to the didgeridoo. The didgeridoo.
We're back. There are a lot of Australians in this, so there could be a didgeridoo involved.
That's why I said it.
There could be. So we cut back to we're in Guy's new office in Homicide. He's working in Homicide now, right? And the other detectives go out to a drink. The other detectives there go out for a drink, but they don't invite him.
Out to a drink.
Yeah. They look at him and they go, punk kid. Who does he think? One of them says, punk kid. Who does he think who's he trying to impress? Mm-hmm. Right, so the other detectives just don't like him, right? And a call for a homicide comes in, and no one else is in the thing, so he takes it. And there's a homicide in a coffee shop called the Night Owl. So Ed goes down, and the police have already blocked off the coffee shop, and Ed walks in, and he sees a dead guy behind the counter, right? Just a shot in the stomach, right? And he sees like blood spattering on the wall, blood splatter pattern on the wall, and he sees blood, like a trail of blood to the back. So he follows the trail of blood to the back, and he opens it up, and there's like 5 dead bodies in there.
Like, that have been in there, or like...
No, that just got dragged there.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is a fresh crime scene. Like a fresh crime scene.
And 6 people were murdered.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Maybe more. There were like a lot of bodies.
Who came up on him? Ed?
So someone called the police, and he was in the homicide. He was the only one in homicide at the time.
And Ed is...
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce, that's right.
It's Guy Pearce.
So he's finding all these bodies.
He's finding all those bodies, right?
Holy shit, Stain.
Yeah. And then, so now, he calls, like, a bunch of cops are there now, obviously. Like, he called it in. And the Captain Hoggett, as I call him, comes, and he takes the case from Ed. And he takes the case from Guy. I was like, Guy, I found the bodies. It's my case. And the Captain goes, no, it's my case, but you can be the lead. You can be point on it. And he goes, okay, fine. So now they're in the morgue, and one of the bodies get ID'd, and it's Stensland.
Somebody just killed a cop. Ex-cop.
Yes, ex-cop. Somebody just killed an ex-cop. Yeah.
Holy moly, that's big. That's big news. What happens?
Yeah. It's not small.
That would be big news.
Yeah. What if it never came up?
That would be big news.
So Bud rushes into the morgue and just sees his dead partner, and he asks Guy what's happening. Russell asks Guy, like, why is what happened? And Guy just tells him straight up, but like with no empathy whatsoever. It's very rude the way how he tells him what happened. It's like very matter of fact.
How's he tell him?
What's
he say?
Like his friend. Like he just explains what happened, but he says it like it's not his friend who's dead.
He says it's just like it's a crime scene.
Yeah, but like the way his voice is implying that Stensland is scum.
Okay.
Right. It's just very.
Did he die with scum, or the other guys scum?
What do you mean?
Like, were the other guys that he killed with bad guys?
Well.
So what was he doing around them in the first place?
We have to figure out who they are, don't we?
That's what I thought he knew already. But okay.
No. Right. And as they're like sort of talking to each other, they're sort of just looking at each other. Mm-hmm. Right. A cop comes in and like, hey, we gotta come walk into the identifying room or whatever. We have this lady gonna try to identify one of the victims.
Okay.
Right? It's this old woman, and she's looking at like a girl like lying down, like a woman lying down. One of the victims.
One of the victims is a woman?
Yeah, one of the victims is a woman.
Okay.
And she's at the coffee. So one of the, and she goes, yeah, it looks like her, but I can't tell. She looks a little different. Like something is off. And then Russell notices the girl on the slab is the same girl he saw on the night of the party with the bandages.
Beat face.
Yeah, it's that girl. Right? And he goes, what? He makes note of it, right? You don't tell nobody. And then they finally they identify her with there's a birthmark on her hip, and the mom's like, oh, that's my daughter. Right?
She cry?
Yeah. Oh. So this movie is filled with amazing acting. When the mom cries at this scene, it's so terrible. It's like, why did you even add that? It took me out of it for a second to be like, oh wow, I was like, oh wow, someone's acting right now. Like
she's obviously acting.
Yeah, she's like, oh wow, someone's like acting, like not like, oh here's
like
just.
They said, okay, your daughter just died, go, and she was like,
like that, dude. It was like that.
Love it.
It's so funny. It's so funny, and I'd like to think that one thing took him out of all the Academy Awards.
Probably. That's what lost him to Titanic.
That's what lost him to Titanic. So the next scene, Dudley, the Captain Hoggett, is addressing all the officers in the meeting room. They're all in the meeting room, right? And he goes, "We have 3 suspects. There were 3 Negro dudes shooting shotguns in Griffith Park, and shotguns are what everyone in the Night Owl was killed with. So 3 Negro dudes shooting shotguns in Griffith Park the night before.
Mexicans and Negroes, huh?
Oh well.
Wow, L.A. Confidential.
Yeah. So shooting shotguns, right? And they got into this car. I forgot the make of the car, but it was just this specific car, right? And that same car was seen at the Night Owl. So here's a list of everyone with this car. I want you guys to check out everyone who owns this car, see if they fit our description of our suspect.
Okay.
We go in 2-man teams, and he tells everyone Ed will be leading the investigation. Guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, God, fucking come on.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, that guy sucks. So...
He does suck, kind of.
I mean, if you're like in the fraternity, like from their perspective, he very much sucks.
Yeah.
You know, he snitched. He snitched.
Mm-hmm. Not cool.
No. So the 2-man teams canvass the neighborhoods, right? So Guy goes out with Kevin Spacey. Right? That's what they go out. But Russell Crowe leaves to go by himself. So we see Russell Crowe. He goes to the liquor store where he met everyone, where he met the victim and the blonde girl.
Yeah.
Right? So he gets the address of where they shipped the liquor to, and he gets the address of the blonde girl. So he gets both the addresses. Right? He follows the addresses of the liquor to, and he goes to this really big rich guy's house.
Okay.
Right? And he sees the rich guy, and the rich guy's name is Pierce Patchett. And he's one of those people with a very recognizable face. I wouldn't be surprised. He was the guy sitting in the back of the car with the mustache. The mustache guy. Yeah. So he noticed that Pierce has a new bodyguard. The ex-officer ain't there no more. And he goes, what happened? It's like, the ex-cop left. Good help is hard to find. Yeah, some of those things, right? And he starts asking Patchett about the murder, about like why was this girl at a murder scene? And Patchett goes, all right, are you looking for any illegal activity outside of the murder? And Russell goes, no. And Patchett says, all right, well, I'll say this. She was in my car, and I pay for plastic surgery for women to look like movie stars to, quote, fill my studios. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Porn. Keep going.
Right? And then Russell walks away, right? And we cut to a house in L.A. Right? We see the blonde girl. Her name is Lynn. Lynn Bracken.
What blonde girl?
Basinger, sorry. Yeah, we see her.
Basinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Base Fisher, right. And she's with a guy, and she gets a call. And she goes, okay, I got it. And then she tells the guy, like, hey, you have to go now, but I'll make it up to you, right? And he goes, what? And as soon as she says that, she gets a knock on the door, right? And she opens it up, and it's Russell.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh, I wasn't expecting you here so fast. And then the guy she was with walks up and like, do you want me to get him out of here? And he's like, no. And Russell's like, no, you don't want to do that. And the guy's like, well, maybe I do.
Yeah.
And then Russell flashes his badge, and he goes, look, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to call your wife to pick you up.
And what the guy said.
And the guy goes, and then he just like grabs. He's wearing like a cowboy hat. He takes the cowboy hat off and like he grabs his clothes and leaves. And as he's leaving, the guy goes, officer. And then Russell goes, councilman.
Amazing.
So like, Bass Fisher fixes up Russell a drink, right? And the person on the phone was Patchett, and she's like, do you know why Patchett is like humoring you and telling you to like come here and meet me and all that sort of stuff? And Russell says, well, I know he's running whores that look like movie stars out to people.
Yeah.
Right, so he's prostitutes.
Love it.
Yeah. But he's probably doing something else on the side, so he doesn't want the attention. And Kim is like, yeah, that's right. That's why we're cooperating. And she tells him, but I'm sorry, I don't know anything about the girl who died. I don't really know much about her. Like, we're all supposed to look like movie stars, and she was this sort of person that filled that roster. And then they have like a nice back and forth where they're like sort of flirty, you know? And then at one point she tells Russell that he's different. And he goes, well, what do you mean? Well, you're the only guy who's ever met that hasn't told me I look exactly like Veronica Lake within the first 2 minutes. She's like a big movie star at the time. Right? And then Russell just goes, you look better than Veronica Lake. And then she's like, it catches her off guard. She like, oh shit, she like likes this dude. Mm-hmm. He asked her about what it's like to work for Pierce Patchett, and she goes, well, he takes like a big cut of the money, but he doesn't abuse any of the girls. It's not the worst deal.
Yeah, they're not getting their ass beat.
Right. And so they're talking more. He doesn't really get much more information about Patchett. That's the only information he gets. And so he's leaving her house.
They're getting their cheeks beat.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, be less proud of yourself, buddy. Be less proud of yourself. No, be less proud of yourself. Just in general. But and so as he's leaving her house. He goes, I would like to see you again. And she goes, are you asking for a date or an appointment? And he goes, forget I asked. And then he leaves.
She fucked that up.
Did she fuck that up?
She should have just took the date.
She don't know if it's a date or if it's an appointment. She deals with a lot. She's fucking a councilman.
She's into him now.
Yes, but she doesn't know if he's into her or wants her as just like a...
Dude, didn't hit her with that line. She should have knew what was up. You should know what's up, Kim Base Fish.
Yeah, but she lives in a world where everyone fakes love constantly. So what does she know?
Well, she lives in a world where she got her cheeks beat a lot.
Well, yeah, she does. So now we cut back to Spacey and Guy, and they are interviewing people in a black neighborhood, right? And there's this one guy who's like working on speed bags. He's like a boxer. And they pull up on him, and then Spacey's like, "Hey, yo, you gotta work on your left, man. You gotta work on your left." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "I saw your last fight. You gotta like you know work on your left or whatever." And then they tell the guy like, "Hey," and then he tells the guy like, "Hey, I'm the guy who put your brother in jail, but I can offer him less jail time if you tell me who owns this certain car, the car that was seen at the scene." And the guy's like, "I'm not a snitch." And the guy goes, "I'll get your brother 10 years out of jail." And the guy goes, "Fine, this guy's terrible anyway. His name is Sugar Ray Collins." And, Guy and Spacey are like, "Thank you," right? And they leave. And then the guy goes, "Well, so you're going to hit me up about my brother?" And then Spacey's like, "Work on your left."
Spacey's the fucking dude. Damn, he's that dude. He just played that nigga smooth.
So they go to Sugar Ray Collins' place.
Okay.
There's already a cop car there. So they're like, fuck. Because they want to get there first. They want to make this. They both want to make the case, right?
Yeah.
They're like, fuck, right? So they go to the back. They go with their guns drawn out to the back. They all, so everything's 50s, so everything looks funny.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah, and like a little too intense. But they go out to the guns drawn in the back, and they go to the garage, and they hear like sounds in the garage. And so they go, let's do this. And they go and they point their guns. They get ready to fire. And it's the other two cops that were already there. They're already checking out the garage too. Right? And so they open the back of the car and they find the shotguns that like match the type of gun that killed the people at the Night Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they find them in the back seat of the car. Right? The 4 cops find these shotguns. Right? So the cops then go as a team, the 4 of them go and then they bust into the apartment of Sugar Ray. And they bust in, and just about when one of the cops that they met was about to shoot one of the black guys, guy's like, no, and takes his gun and forces it up.
Yeah.
So he misses, and he goes, don't shoot anyone. Don't shoot anyone. And he stops everyone from shooting people, and they just arrest the guys in the house.
How many guys are in the house? 3 black guys?
3. Yeah, and they didn't kill any of them.
Thank you.
For 1950s cops, fucking way to rise above.
Way to rise above. If we can only get to 2019.
Right.
You get it.
Right. Well, like I said, movies. What's great about this movie is that it doesn't imitate real life in any sense. So now the whole
like Mulan.
Yeah. This movie is like Mulan. That's probably the best way to put it. You feel me explaining this, you'd be like, this has a Mulan-y feel.
That's what I felt like while listening to this.
Yeah. You are correct. Wait till the dragon comes. So the 3 black guys are like now in an interrogation room where like all 3 interrogation rooms are right next to each other, and it's like a theater where you can watch all of them at once, and the whole precinct is there pretty much just watching this now, right? And the captain goes up to Guy and goes, so their guns matched, and the ballistics of the guns matched the bullets that killed the people at Night Owl. So all we need is a confession.
Yeah.
Right? We got the forensics. We need the confession. Can you handle it? And the guy's like, yeah, I can handle it, right? So he starts asking the first guy questions about his friends pretty much, right? But he does this brilliant thing where there's a switch under the desk that he turns on, and what he's saying in the interrogation room, you can hear in the other 2 interrogation rooms where his friends is on. So he baits him with questions and gives him questions that makes it seem like he's ratting.
Yeah.
And when he seems like he's ready, he turns it on so his associates can hear that sounds like he's ready. Fucking genius.
That's amazing.
Right? Fucking genius. And he gets stuck on the girl. Like, who's the girl? Like, you're going to go to jail with it. You just tell us about the girl. Did you kill the girl? Did you kill the girl? Right? And
this is the girl that is dead.
Yeah, in the Night Owl, right?
Not the cop. They're not worried about the cop yet. They're just worried about the girl.
They just get stuck on the girl. Because he brings up a girl. Like, he's just trying to get a confession, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever lead avenue they'll take me down, right? And then, so he goes from, that was the first guy. Now he goes to the second guy, and the second guy is clearly a kid. He's like pissing himself, and he's crying, right? And he's just like, I'm just crying, right? And a guy goes up to him and goes, tell me about the girl. If you don't tell me about the girl, I mean, you're gonna go to the gas chamber, right? That's what we call it, the gas chamber anyway. So tell me about the girl, and maybe you can save you that. And the guy goes, the kid goes, I didn't want her to die. I just wanted to lose my cherry. And it's like, what? She said if she dies, I die. I don't lose my child. I won't lose my cherry. If she dies, I die. And she keeps saying, if she dies, I die. If she dies, I die. And it's like, wait, what? This girl, you're talking about the girl from the Night Owl, right? The girl from the Night Owl, right? Or, like trying to figure out talking about her. And then like Russell Crowe's watching this from the theater, like shaking. He's mad. He's like watching this, like getting angry, right? And so now, guy runs into the third guy's room and goes, tell me about this girl he's supposed to lose his cherry to. Tell me about this girl. Is she alive? Because if she's alive, then that's the key to getting you out of this situation.
What girl?
So they think, how do I explain this? So they're caught up on the girl at the scene, right? That's what Guy is talking about. But he's talking about a girl that he's losing his cherry to.
Yeah.
Right. So now there's confusion of like, is this the same girl?
Okay.
That, you know what? Like, Ed's trying to figure out, like, are we talking about even the same girl here? Right? And so, he asked the third guy, is she alive? Is she alive? Right? And then Bud, Russell just breaks the chair he's holding onto and then runs into the room. And then Guy's like, no, Bud, I got this. And then Russell empties out 3 clips on his gun and goes, where's this girl? Where are you keeping her? And then, where's the girl you're talking about? Right? And then he puts the gun in the black guy's mouth and shoots 3 shots. Empty shots. The bullets he took out. So the next shot is real. And the guy goes, and he tells him this house where this girl was in. They're with this girl in this house, right? This is like brownstone house or whatever, right? So cut to the next morning. The cops come up on the address the guy gave to him, right? Bud goes through he like hops a fence and goes through the back. And the other cops are about to get out. And then the captain goes, no, Bud goes first. We only go in through the front door when we get the signal.
Okay.
Right. So Bud, like he breaks into the room. He breaks into the apartment slowly, right? He walks and he looks. He sees the first room. And the first room is this Mexican girl who's like tied up to a bed. And her face is all bloody. It's all and she has been raped.
I figured.
Yeah. Clearly. But it's like she's still there.
Alive,
but like in bad shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, not doing well.
like bad shape, like she eats a lot of McDonald's and stuff?
Yeah. And like it's in, you know how
fatty.
it is. Yeah, she's just fat. Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
She's in bad shape.
That's what I mean.
Look at the rolls on this piggy.
That's exactly what I mean.
He walked up to her, he was like, oink, 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 get it together.
Man, it's like you've seen this movie.
Yeah. Smart.
So then he keeps going down the hall, and then
does she even notice him, or she's just
no?
Like,
she notices him, and she goes like that. She like points with her
she's
eyes.
like fucking
Yeah. And so he walks down the hall, and there's like this big black dude. He's watching cartoons and he's laughing, and then he sees Russell, and Russell just shoots him
in the head,
in the whatever chest area, right? He shoots him, right? The other cops outside hear the shots, so they start running in, right? And so then Russell takes out like a second gun from his back pocket, puts it in the dude's hand who he just shot, and then used his hand to shoot at where Russell was standing to make it seem like they had like a shootout, and he shot first, right? So the cops bust in. So after he plants the gun, the cops bust in, and the next shot we're outside, and you see the girl. She's like being blanketed up and put in an ambulance. Right, and then Guy comes up to her and trying to ask her questions like, "Hey, the 3 guys that were with you last night, what time did they leave you? What time did they leave you?" Right.
This is the girl that was raped.
The girl that's right. He's just trying to ask her questions, and then Bud stops him and goes. Russell stops him and goes, "Dude, your career can take a break for a second. Let her go."
Yeah.
Right. And a guy goes, no one's gonna believe a naked guy with a gun because the guy shot was in like a tank top and shit. How will that look in your report? And Russell goes, it looked like justice. And the guy goes, you don't even know the meaning of the word, you ignorant bastard. And Russell goes, well, what does justice mean to you? Squealing on a fellow cop? And then guy goes, hey, Streslin got what he deserved, and so will you. And then Russell tries to then fight him. And he has
tries to fight him? Or
No, he tries to. He's held back by all the other cops.
Okay.
Because the other cops are like watching this interaction.
I wonder if they should be on Russell's side. After that argument, I would be.
Well, I mean, you can't say your partner deserved to die and so do you.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Or at least not nice. And then from a police radio nearby on one of the cars, you hear that the night owl suspect, the 3 black dudes, have escaped. They've escaped police holding somehow, right? So they all rush back to the police station, and Guy is going over the transcript of the interrogation to see if there's any clue to where the suspects might go. And at one point, the first guy mentioned that like they bought drugs from this dude named Roland Navarrete. All right. So Guy looks for Kevin Spacey to go with him, but he can't find him, so he takes a random cop.
Okay.
Right, like come with me, right? And so they go to this like seedy looking apartment complex, and they have like these shotguns, and they're like going through the apartment complex where this guy lives, and they're sneaking around trying to find it, and they finally find where Roland Navarette's house is, apartment is, and they bust in the door like guns out, and the 3 suspects are there with the 3 black dudes are there with one random white guy.
Okay.
Right, and he goes. Everyone freeze. If everyone freezes, no one gets hurt, right? And so the black guys are like, fuck, we lost, right? So they go to put their hands up. As they're putting their hands up, the young guy who was like crying earlier accidentally knocks a beer can down. And that sets off the random cop that guy is with. He gets scared and he blasts the kid a couple times. Right?
A couple times?
A couple times.
All of them or just one?
Just one. Blast the young one. The young one, right? And then the white dude who's with them, the Roland Navarrete guy, takes a gun and then shoots the cop a bunch of times. Right? So he kills the cop. Guy kills the white dude and then kills another one of the suspects because he has like a gun, right? So he kills him. The third suspect...
Wait, he was like pulling a gun?
Yeah, he was pulling a gun.
Okay.
And so he kills him. And now the third suspect runs away down the hall, right? And the guy chases him, and the guy gets in an elevator and it's about to close, and then guy gets the shotgun in last second and fires. Kills him. All right. Now, there's like this montage thing where now you'll see a bunch of things happen.
What do you mean?
It's like a montage.
Like what happens?
Okay, here's what happens. All right. So back at the precinct now, the first thing that happens is that the other cops are now happy for Guy. And like, you did a good job. You solved the case, yada, yada, yada. And he gets a Medal of Honor. He gets awarded a Medal of Honor. All right. Spacey is back working on set at the Badge of Honor. Like his suspension from that is over. He's back on set. Everyone's happy to see him. Right. Russell is watching Kim Basinger's house and just watching her take on John's, pretty much. Just watching.
Okay.
Just outside watching. And then she sort of notices him. All right. And then you see Pratchett, the mustache guy. You see him basically, remember the councilman that was with the hooker the first time? He is able to use pictures from the times that he's with her to then bribe the councilman to vote to build a highway called the Santa Monica Freeway, which we know now is the 405.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
He's making big political moves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so now and then we cut to Bud at the Victory Motel, and he's watching that seedy motel, and now we're watching the captain just beat up another outside drug criminal. Like, you go back to where you came from. And then Russell leaves, and then he goes back outside of Lynn's house and just watches some more.
Okay.
Right? And then that's the montage. That's the whole montage. That's when, the 50s song playing in the background.
Interesting montage. Not like Rocky at all.
No.
Nobody ran up any fucking steps.
No. That definitely didn't happen. No. So he knocks on Lynn's door. He finally knocks on Lynn. That's Bass Fisher's door. Knocks on Lynn's door, and she takes him to her actual bedroom. Not where she fucks the dude. She takes him to her actual bedroom. And he goes, "Why are you taking me here?" And she's like, "Shit, just something special about you." And they start making out.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Cut to Kevin Spacey is at a political event on the Badge of Honor set.
Okay.
So the DA is there talking on the Badge of Honor set, and Kevin Spacey's just there, right? Danny DeVito comes up and finds Spacey and tells him how the DA is a swish, which is a gay guy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. The DA is a gay guy. And so what Danny DeVito's doing, because he wants to get a picture of him as a gay guy, is that he hired the actor from the Pop Bust and paid him $100 to fuck the DA.
Because he's gay, the pot guy.
No, he's not gay. His career is in a lull, so he needs the money. Because he was with a girl when they busted him.
But he fucked this DA guy.
Right. No, he's going to do that tonight. So he paid him to do that tonight. He hasn't fucked him yet. That's what's going to happen tonight, right? And then he calls like the guy over to come to talk to Kevin.
The actor.
Yeah, the actor, and his name is Matt Reynolds.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Matt, who at the earlier movie got arrested by Spacey, right? So he looks at Spacey and goes, "Have we met before?" And Spacey goes, "Yeah." And then Matt goes, "Fleur-de-lis party?" And Spacey's like, "Yeah, fleur-de-lis party." And then Matt goes, "Yeah, dope, dude. Hookers who look like movie stars. Yep. Pierce Patchett has it all." Yeah. But, and Matt goes on to say how, like, Pierce scares him a bit.
Yeah.
And just then, Danny comes back with drinks to give to Matt to, like, loosen him up because he has to fuck a dude.
Yeah.
So, like, here, take these drinks. And they really manipulate this actor, Spacey and Danny. They, like the actor goes, "Okay, and my face won't be used in any of the shots, right?" And then he goes, No. He's like, "And Kevin over here, he has acting work on Badge of Honor. He works on Badge of Honor, so he'll get you a spot. There's an open spot, right?" And he goes, Yeah, there's an open spot, and I'll get it to you. Basically, they're clearly lying to him to get him to do this, right? And the guy,
fucking awesome.
The guy goes, "Okay." And then he goes over and starts talking to the DA. Matt starts talking to the DA, like, starts flirting. And then Spacey asks DeVito if he knows anything about Patchett. And DeVito says, "I know stuff about Patchett, but he doesn't do tabloid-worthy stuff, so I don't really care."
Yeah.
Right? And then DeVito walks away. Spacey walks away. But before he goes, DeVito says, "Hey, just make sure you're in this motel at midnight. Here's the room. That's where they'll be." Right? So then we cut to Bud and Kim. They're just watching.
It's illegal to be gay, right?
No, it's not illegal, but it's very bad for you and your public image. You can't be gay in this time. Not in Hollywood. Even in Hollywood.
From the bust him. Is he gonna bust in the door?
I guess. I guess they'll be like, "Oh, there'll be drugs on him or some shit." You know what I mean? They're like, they'll find a way to make it work. And then we cut to, we see Bud and Kim, and they're just watching a movie together, and they're just having it's just a date, And now we cut back to Spacey is sitting at a bar and staring at the $50 that DeVito just gave him. And he looks at the mirror. He goes, he feels bad about it. He puts the $50 on the bar, and he leaves, right? He goes to the motel early, and he knocks on the door. And he goes, "Hey, Matt, you don't got to do this. You don't have to do this. You shouldn't do this." And he opens the door, and he sees Matt is laying dead in a pool of his own blood. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. What the fuck is going on in this fucking movie?
Cut to Ed. He's pushing the Mexican girl that got that rape victim, and he's asking.
Guy Pierce.
Yeah, guy. Yeah, cut back to guy, and he's asking her about what time the 3 black dudes left her after they assaulted her, and she tells him because she told the police that they left her at midnight, which is enough for them to go across town and kill the people at the Night Owl. But she tells Guy that, "Oh, I lied about that. They were with me like all night." And he goes, "Why did you lie?" And she's like, "Well, who's gonna believe a Mexican hooker? I need help. It's the only way is if they're connected." So he finds out that the guys who are suspected for the Night Owl murders couldn't have done it because they were too busy assaulting a woman.
Yeah, raping her.
Yes. And then the press is there at the end of the conversation, and they take a picture of him, and he's like, you know what I mean? He's like master politic. So he takes the picture with her still. Crazy.
After she's all raped up.
Yeah, and after she tells him that she lied.
Damn.
To get those guys,
and they died because of that lie.
They died because of that lie, yeah.
They also were rapists.
Yeah, and I'm sure she was 100% fine with that.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure she don't give a fuck. It worked out in her favor at the very end.
She had to do what she had to do. I'm not mad at her.
Yeah. So now we cut back to Bud. He's lying in bed with Kim, and he's clearly in love, and you find out she's from Bisbee, Arizona, where Doug Stanhope lives. Yeah, connection.
Bisbee Connections 818 till I die.
Right. And then you find out why Russell is so into protecting women. And you find out that when Russell was a kid, his dad tied him to a radiator and made him watch as he beat his mom to death.
To death.
And it was 3 days before anyone found them. And no one ever found his dad. And then he tells her he tells her that like he doesn't believe that the black guys did the night owl job. He also doesn't think it happened, just off his intuition, but he's like, I'm not smart enough to figure out. And she says, no, you're wrong, and then she kisses him. Right? Then we cut to Bud is now in the basement of the police station, the records room, right? And he's asking the guy in charge of the records room about the night owl case. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I don't know why you want to care about it. It's already solved, but the boxes are right here, right? So he goes to the box, and in the picture he notices that the girl with the plastic surgery on her face, the girl who died, whose mom couldn't identify, her name is Susan Leffers, right? She notices that she was the one who was sitting with his partner at the cafe.
Yeah.
Because he just figured it out by just looking at like the pictures and like, oh, that's the hot date he meant, right? So she's like, oh, why is my partner sitting with this dead girl? And before he pretended he didn't know them. Like he didn't act like he knew them when I met them at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, what's going on here, right? So he goes to the mom's house, the mom that identified the body, goes to her house. And he asks him about her life, and she goes, yeah, he had this, and then her mom goes, tells her about how she had this old boyfriend that she didn't approve of.
Cop.
He shows him a picture of Streisand, and she goes, that's the boyfriend, right? And he goes, can you tell me anything else? And then he goes, yeah, there was one night where there was a lot of arguing, and they came back and forth all night, and they went out the back door, and it was like a lot. And then Russell goes to the back door and notices like a bad smell. He goes, the smell is awful. And she goes, yeah, it's just rats and such, right? So he goes underneath the house to check, and he crawls underneath the house, and he goes and he looks. He sees shoes, and he keeps going, and he sees this decomposing body, right? And he's patting on the body looking for ID, and he gets a wallet out, and it's Leland Meeks. The cop, remember at the beginning, the driver, the guy who drove around all the people? Remember when he's at the liquor store where he meets the girl with the bandage?
Yeah.
And the guy with the mustache?
Yeah.
There was a driver.
Who we got into a fight with.
Yes. That's the guy. Uh-huh. The former cop. So that's his body down there, right? And he leaves out from the crawl space, and she goes, so there was just rats down there, right? And he goes, yep, just rats. And he leaves.
You didn't tell her?
No.
Wow.
No.
Try to pin it on that old bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm pinning on her.
Cut to Ed. I mean, like, that's...
Guy Pearce.
Yeah, cut to Guy Pearce, right? He's staring at the Medal of Honor he got for the case, and he's just unhappy. Right? Because he hasn't solved the case, really, and he feels it, right? So he goes down to the basement room, and he asks for the Night Owl case. And the guy's like, oh, man, you guys won't leave this case alone. He's like, what do you mean, you guys? And he finds out, oh, Russell's also, like, asking questions, right? So he goes, wait, so he asked the records guy, so where did Bud go after he came down here? And so the next scene, you see Ed at the same house, right? And this time, he goes under the crawl space, and then he calls, he calls people.
Backup,
yeah. He calls, and they get the body, right? And they're bringing the body into the corners, right? And he goes, hey, he tells the coroner, like, hey, whatever you find out, you tell me first and nobody else.
Okay.
All right. Ed then runs into Kevin Spacey's office, and he asks Kevin Spacey for help. He asks Kevin to trail Russell and just see what he's up to and be his tail, right? And he tells Spacey that he doesn't believe the Negroes did the Night Owl killing, right? And Spacey's like, why do you care? That made your case, right? Without it, you're still hated, right? You should just be happy with it. Well, like, why do you care? And then Guy says the words, he says a name, he goes, Rollo Tomasi. And Spacey's like, what is that? Who is that? And he goes, Rollo is the fake name I gave the guy who killed my dad in duty. So he's the guy that killed, it's just a fake name I made up. And that's the reason I became a cop, to catch the guy who thinks he can get away with that sort of thing. And Guy goes, asks Spacey, like, why did you become a cop? And Spacey goes, man, I don't remember. And Spacey then agrees to help Guy.
Okay.
As long as Guy also helps him with the murder of Matt, the actor. The one he found in the motel.
Yeah.
The gay actor. Right? So.
Yeah, that actor was definitely gay.
Yeah, actually, totally gay. So, next scene we see Spacey following around.
How long is this movie?
This movie's long. It's 2 hours, 18 minutes.
It's a long ass movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So we see Spacey following around Russell, right? And Russell goes to a bar, and it's remember the old Mickey's old bodyguard I mentioned, Johnny Stamato, way back when? Yeah. He goes to see him. So Johnny Stamato is knows the people who are hired from Russell. So he's asking him about Meeks, the policeman whose body he just found. And Stamato's like, I don't know. And then Russell grabs his balls and goes, if you want your balls back, tell me everything you know about Meek. And he like twists. Mm-hmm. He goes, Meeks had a line on a large supply of heroin, and that's all I know. So he lets go of his balls, right? And then they follow him. Spacey and Guy Pearce follow Russell as he goes back to Lynn's house, and they watch him undress Lynn, and like fuck, and she has gone fishing in this scene as well.
Yeah, they watch who fuck her?
They watch Russell fuck her because they're like in a relationship kind of now.
Who watches them fuck though? Kevin Spacey and Guy Pearce.
And Guy Pearce, they both watch, and Guy is like, he's like, it's
where are they watching from?
Like outside the house. Okay. They're like watching like through the window of her house. They're like, because they're just following Russell around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as they're doing that, Spacey then tells Guy Pearce about Fleur de Lis, because he notices that the girl like looks like a movie star, and he goes, "Oh, she's part of Fleur de Lis. It's an escort service that makes girls look like movie stars." So that's the first time now he's in on Fleur de Lis.
Kevin Spacey
tells Guy Pearce that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now Spacey and Pearce go back and talk to Johnny Stamato because they want information from Stamato now too, right? And he's sitting with this old movie star looking woman, right? And they're like, "Hey Johnny, we gotta talk to you." And the girl goes, "No, leave him alone," right? And she looks like a movie star. And then so Guy goes, "Hey, a hooker cut to look like Lana Turner is still a hooker." And then Spacey behind him goes, "Actually, that is Lana Turner."
That's awesome.
And then she throws water on him. She throws her drink on him, and they go out and they have a laugh. And that scene is just for them to bond. And the funny scene.
Is that the funny scene in the movie?
That's like the funny scene in the movie.
Okay.
I did some research on this, and it turns out there's a real Johnny Stamato, and he really dated this movie star named Lana Turner, and it was an abusive relationship, and Lana Turner's daughter stabbed him. Like 14-year-old daughter stabbed him in one of his fits, and that was like one of the crimes of the century. So this is like a shout out to that.
That's why Lana Turner's a famous name.
Yes.
Because I know that name. I was wondering why I knew it.
Yeah, and she just like when you hear about old school movie stars, she's like one of them.
Yeah, but that's not why her name is famous.
No. It's clearly because of this.
Yeah.
She had an OJ-like trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that whole scene with Lana Turner, they go. Spacey and Guy Pearce go and talk to Patchett, right? And they ask Patchett like, "Hey, why are you having Lynn see Russell?" And Patchett, or like, "Why is Lynn seeing Russell?" And Patchett's like, "Oh, well, to fuck, obviously. Why? He says it way more smooth than that, right?"
Yeah.
And then he asks Patchett about Matt Reynolds, but Patchett is quiet. He don't talk. He just doesn't say shit, right? So they're leaving Patchett's house. They split up. So Guy receives word that the coroner wants to talk to him, right? So he sends Spacey to go talk to the coroner. Guy goes back to Kim Basinger's house to figure out why he thinks Patchett is having her date Russell, and he's trying to figure out why, right? So they split up, all right? And he says, like, hey, he says to Spacey, "Hey, we're gonna go meet in the bar called the Frolic Room after we figure out what we figure out. So go split up, and then let's meet up."
Yeah.
Right? As they're doing that, Patchett calls Danny DeVito at the Hush Hush. He's in the, hush, hush, he calls him. All right. So he cut to Jack. He goes to the corner and he finds out it's Leland Meek's body, right? And Jack remembers him when he was
Jack is
Spacey, sorry.
Say the names of the fucking, come on.
Yeah. I mean, also a little bit you should know by now.
Trust me, it's impossible because you're it's like Spacey.
All right. So Spacey finds out it was Leland Meek's body, and he's like remembers when Leland was a cop, and Leland was a shady guy already. So Spacey goes down to the record room and looks up all of Leland Meek's arrest reports. Right. Guy Pearce goes over to Kim Basinger's house. Right. And they start talking, and he starts interrogating her. And he goes, Pierce Patchett taught you everything you know, huh? How to dress, how to act, how to interact. And I'm impressed with the results, but I need some answers. And if you don't give me these answers, I'm going to take you and Patchett down. And she's like, I ain't afraid of you. And you forgot one thing. Lieutenant, Pierce Patchett also taught me how to fuck. I like that line. And he asked her, like, hey, why is he asking you to see Bud? And she goes, I'm seeing Bud because see Russell? She goes, I'm seeing Russell because I want to see Russell. And Russell is everything a man you can never be. All right? And I like Russell because of all the way he's not like you.
Okay.
Right? And Guy goes, shut the fuck about Russell. And then he starts making out with Lynn. He starts making out with Kim. And they start tearing each other's clothes off, right? And as they're tearing...
She wants to fuck him.
As they're tearing the clothes off, she looks up, and you see Danny DeVito behind a glass taking pictures.
She got him.
Now, since he is fucking, he does not go to the frolic room to meet Spacey. So Spacey leaves the frolic room just tired of waiting, right?
So he fucks her.
He fucks her.
And he's just Danny DeVito's just getting pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who called the hush hush?
Patchett, the thin mustache guy.
Set this up.
He set this up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So Spacey leaves the bar after they don't meet up, right? He goes over to the captain's house, Captain Hoggett. He goes over to his house, right? And he has a couple questions for him about Meeks, about the dead guy, right? He says he was looking up old records, and 12 years ago on a Vice route, Meeks was with Stensland, Russell's old partner, and they arrested Patchett, but then they let him go. The charges were just dropped for whatever reason, right? And Captain Hoggett was the supervising officer on the case.
Okay.
So he was like, do you know anything about it? And Captain's like, what is this about? And Spacey goes, I'm working with Guy Pearce on a murder. And the captain's like, wait, you guys are in different divisions. And Spacey's like, yeah, I know. I made a lot of mistakes. So I'm trying to make amends now.
Yeah.
Right. And then I like this when the captain goes, well, don't start trying to do the right thing now, boyo. You haven't had the practice. Right. And then so the captain goes over and makes him tea. Right? And he turns around, he hands him the tea, and he goes, so what does Guy Pearce think about all this? And Spacey goes, I haven't told him yet. I came right over, and just then the captain pulls out a gun, poof, shoots Kevin in the chest.
I knew the Captain Hoggett was bad. He's always bad, bro. That nigga's always bad, bro.
Not in Babe. He wasn't bad in Babe.
He was bad.
Who is Babe? How is he bad in Babe?
You ain't seen Babe 2.
Oh, okay.
You don't see what it was all lead
like
up
a
to.
Serial killer?
What it all leads up to.
Yeah. So, bam, shoots Spacey.
In the head?
In the chest. But Spacey's dying, and as he's dying, Spacey's last words are, he just whispers, Rollo Tomasi. Rollo Tomasi. And he does this creepy laugh, like,
Rollo Tomasi, who was that again? That's
the guy that Guy Pearce made up. Yeah. That's the name of the guy who killed his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just says that name twice. And
Wait, Guy Pearce says that's the name of the guy that killed his dad?
No, they don't know the guy who killed his dad. In his mind, he made up that name for the guy.
Okay.
That's what he calls the guy that killed his dad. He has no idea who killed his dad.
And Kevin Spacey's last words are Rollo Tomasi.
Rollo Tomasi.
Okay.
Rollo Tomasi. All right, and he does a small little laugh, then dies. I always thought this was interesting because Kevin Spacey wasn't like the overall villain in this movie. Usually, because we talk about this, how he's usually like the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually
or
like
the guy, or the lead, or the good guy.
Yeah, or not. He's just like a.
He's clearly a main character in this.
He's a main character, but he's like a bad guy who finds like redemption, kind of in his own way. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, so now the next scene, they're in the briefing room. Right, they're in the briefing room again, and the captain is addressing everyone about how Spacey's body was found in Echo Park, and he was likely moved there. He splits everyone into teams of 2 to go find, let's find leads, let's do whatever we can, we'll put the fire of LAPD in everyone's asses, yada, yada, yada. And then on the way out, he pulls Guy Pearce to the side and is like, hey, I need your help on on a lead with one of Jack's associates. And Guy goes, okay, what's his name? And the captain goes, Rollo Tomasi. Have you heard of him? And Guy, you could just see it in Guy's face of just like, how do you know that name? Mm-hmm. Right? Because Spacey's the only person Guy has told about this.
Yeah.
So he's like, what the fuck? And this is my favorite scene one of my favorite scenes in the movie, just because just the recognition of like, oh, the captain's in on some shit in the dude's face, in the guy's face, like just the acting and just like the minute changes, amazing. You could just like, something's up. Right.
Also, how smart is it for Kevin Spacey to say Rollo Tomasi?
Yeah, it's just like, dude, like...
It's like, oh, that nigga's gonna... You know what? It's probably why he laughs. Like, oh, this fucking idiot's gonna go talk to him about it.
Yeah, I gotta say something to him now. Because, and just clue him in, like, hey, someone's on your case. Someone's on your tail now. And the captain goes, oh, it's probably nothing. Just keep your eyes open, okay, boyo? And so the captain heads back to his office, and you see Russell asking people, like, hey... just asking other cops randomly, like, hey, if I had a large amount of heroin, how would I move it?
Yeah.
Right? Just trying to figure out, like, where, because Meeks had this heroin, where the fuck would he go? And then the captain calls Russell to his office, and he says, Russell, I need Russell. I need you, Russell, at the Victory Motel. And the captain tells Russell how he's disappointed and how he's become less aggressive as recently, which is a shame because I had big plans for you. And I was like, what plans? And the captain goes, well, you have your extracurricular activities. I got mine. We must have a clarification session one of these days. So now we cut to Guy. He goes to the coroner to find out what he told Spacey last night. And the coroner tells Guy about Leland Meeks. Mm-hmm. Right. Now we cut back to the Victory Motel. And they have Danny DeVito tied to a chair.
Who does?
The motel where they beat up out-of-towners?
Oh.
The captain has Danny DeVito tied to a chair. Right? And they're asking him about Jack's murder. And Danny denies any involvement.
Captain Hoggett and Russell Crowe.
Yeah. They ask him, and...
Captain Hoggett murdered him.
Yeah, and whenever he doesn't answer a question, there's another associate there who just hits DeVito in the face.
Who's just some other guy?
Just some other guy. Right? And Danny denies involvement, and the captain sort of like asks Danny if he knows anything about a Pierce Patchett. And Danny goes, yeah, Pierce, he runs, this hooker thing, and he also has his eyes on the heroin game. And yeah, and through his hooker thing, though, like, he's got, like, cops on his payroll and shit. Like, I can tell, like, I have pictures of a cop fucking some whore named Lynn, which is Kim's name. And then Russell loses his mind when he hears it because he thinks it's of him, right? So he takes Danny, who's bolted down. The chair's bolted down to the ground. He, like, hits him and then rips the chair out the ground. He's just mad, right? He grabs Danny's car keys because the pictures are in his car. He goes to a trunk, opens it, finds the pictures, opens up, and sees the pictures of Guy fucking Kim. Mm-hmm. And he's just... And he's just angry. He goes in his car and speeds away. And... Captain Hoggett is watching him like, man, I would not trade places with Ed Exley, which is Guy, for any reason in the world right now. Not for all the whiskey in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he turns back into the room where Danny's like still tied to the chair. And Danny's like, Jesus, Captain, I thought you were going to let him kill me. That guy was crazy. Hey, and then he talks to his associate. Hey, next time you punch me, make sure you hold back a little bit, Yeah. Like, okay, you can untie me now. And while he's saying that, the captain is putting on gloves. And Danny notices that and goes, hey, we had a deal. And then the captain puts his hand on Danny's mouth and goes, hush, hush.
Bam. Shoots him in the head?
No, that's the last you see.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Now we cut to Ed is in the police record station trying to find any info on Leland Meeks.
Guy Pearce.
Going through Guy Pearce, sorry. And then we cut to Kim Basinger looking sad in the rain outside of her house. Like she's outside of her house and it's raining. And then Russell pulls up and he gets out and he's like, he wants to know what happened with Guy. And she goes, come in. He's like, no, talk to me right now. What happened with Guy? He's like, I just wanted to talk to him and I thought I was helping you. It's like, so you fucked him. She goes, I thought I was helping you. And when she says that again, he slaps her and then backhands her too, like 2 just really hard hits.
Good for Russell.
Yeah. And then he cocks his fist back and then he realizes and he looks real sad and then runs away. And she just starts bawling.
Man, shit.
That was 1950s, baby. When men could be men.
You're a bad person.
Well, oh yeah, I'm the bad guy.
You're the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. This guy just beat a chick. Yeah. So, we cut back to Ed. We cut back to Guy. He's in the records room. He's looking over arrests of Meeks. Like the arrest record of Meeks. And he noticed that Meeks never really arrested anyone. Right? He's like figuring out how. And he finds out the whole time while he was doing that in Vice, Meeks' partner was Streisand. And their commanding officer...
Hoggett.
Mm-hmm. So he's putting that all together, right?
And they're all in the heroin ring. Keep going.
While he's doing that, Russell walks into the records room, right? And a guy is like, oh, Russell, I'm glad you're here. You got to see this. And then Russell just goes and shows him a picture of Guy fucking Kim to his face.
Yeah.
And Guy's like, wait. And then Russell just punches Ed. And Ed tries to run away. He picks him up and he throws him across the room.
Yeah.
And he walks up on Ed. He walks up on Guy. And Guy steals his gun, like steals Russell's gun and points it at him. And like, and Russell backs off a little bit. And then Guy stands up and he goes, Dudley killed Spacey. Hoggett killed Spacey. And he wants you to kill me. He was the one who showed you the photos, didn't he? And then Russell just hits the gun out of his hands, takes Guy's head, bam, bam, on the filing cabinet twice, and then bam, on the table. And then he takes the chair, and tosses it out the window.
So he kills him.
No, he fucks him up. He don't kill him.
But he fucks him up.
He fucks him up, right? And then he calms down. And then Guy tells him what I told you about what he found about Meeks not arresting anybody. And then Russell tells Guy that, hey, I think my partner Streisand killed the former cop Meeks over missing heroin. And they just tell each other like what's going on. Like Guy tells Russell that the prostitute who was raped was lying about the timing, so the black guys didn't do it. And then they realize, remember when they were finding the car and there were 2 officers already there? Mm-hmm. They realized they planted the guns because they were Hoggett's guys to make it look like they did it, right? And then they realized, oh, fuck, we got to work together to, like, do this, right? And then Russell is really impressed with Guy because Guy wants to solve the case, even though he benefited greatly from just being the black guy. And Guy is like, oh, and I need a wrecking ball. So he's
a muscle.
They team up, right? So they go to the DA's office to try to figure out why Danny DeVito was trying to blackmail him. With how the gay actor who died. And so they asked the DA if he's willing to put tails on Captain Hoggett and Pierce Patchett. And the DA says no. And Guy asks if the reason why is because there's a picture of him fucking Matt Reynolds out there. And the DA goes, I'm not going to dignify this with an answer. And he gets up and he goes to his bathroom, right? And starts like plucking his nose hairs or whatever. And then Bud waits a second and he walks into the bathroom. And the DA is like, oh, don't play this good cop, bad cop on me. So what if some homo actor is dead? There'll be another 10 to replace him on the bus tomorrow. And then Bud takes his head, bam, smashes the DA into the mirror, puts his head in the toilet, flushes the toilet.
Love it.
Brings him up and the DA is like, Guy, get your guy off of me. Get Russell off of me. And Guy's like, I don't know if I can, right? And then Russell has this dope line where he goes, you know what you don't realize is that if I were to throw you out the window right now, there'd be 10 lawyers willing to replace you. They're just not coming in buses, right? And then he takes him out the bathroom, and they basically hang him outside of his mirror. He's like a tall office. They hang him outside of the mirror, right? And the DA obviously then just starts...
The window, you mean?
Yeah, the window. Sorry, yeah, the window. He's hanging him out the window of his office, like on like the whatever floor. And so obviously the DA starts spilling. So basically, Hoggett and Pratchett are going to take over the void that Mickey C left when he got picked for tax evasion.
That's why they've been keeping all the drug people out.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. And they got the picture of the DA... with the DA and the gay actor to make sure that they never prosecute them, to keep them safe, right? So the next thing they do is that they burst into Patchett's house, right? Guy and Russell. And they find Patchett just lying in a chair. Like, it looks like he killed himself, but Russell knows, no, his fingers are broken. He didn't kill himself. And next to him is a fake suicide note saying how, oh, I killed Spacey because it was me, and yada, he found out my porn ring or whatever, right? So they're like, oh, fuck. I think Hoggett is tying up loose ends. And they realize, oh, if he's tying up loose ends, then Kim is in trouble, right? So they call the West Hollywood police to get to Kim where they are, because it's a different precinct than them. So Hoggett's not involved. They call the police and they're like, hey, arrest this girl, arrest her under the name of Joan. They give her a fake name, not a real name, right? And the West Hollywood police are like, oh, we got her, but someone like worked her face up a little bit. And
Russell Crowe knows who it is.
And also, Guy looks at Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe looks just like guilty.
Yeah.
And so Guy knows, right? And so they figure out, okay, Guy will go talk to Kim to see if she knows anything, and then Russell will go talk to Danny DeVito, see what's, put some pressure on him, right? So Guy talks to Lynn and apologizes.
Where? At the jail?
At the jail, yeah. And apologizes to her about what Russell did and how Russell feels bad. And she's like, I know how he feels. And he goes, okay, do you know anything about Captain Dudley Smith, Captain Hoggett? Do you know? And she goes, no, I know nothing. Right? And then he goes, oh, this was a bust, right? She doesn't know anything. What's it called? You see Russell go to Danny DeVito's office, and DeVito is just lying on the ground, dead, which looks hilarious. But just you know what I mean? Just the way he's lying, it just looks
in his
fun.
office.
In his office, yeah. And he's like stiff because obviously like he's been dead for a while, so
Yeah.
it's like so it looks a little crazy. It doesn't look natural. But all the cops are like, yep, someone came in his office and robbed him for his prints. So it must have been someone he was investigating, right?
How did he die? A bullet or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a cop comes up to Russell and goes, hey, Guy just called. He wants to meet you. He wants you to meet him at the Victory Motel. Right? So Russell goes to the Victory Motel and sees Guy chilling there. And Russell goes, so you wanted to meet me here? And Guy goes, no, you called this. Sid Hudgens told me. And he goes, Sid Hudgens is dead. And when they realize that, they see a bunch of headlights coming in their direction.
Wait, Sid Hudgens. Who's Sid Hudgens?
Sorry. I said Sid. I meant Danny. That's Danny DeVito's doing that. So it's like he thought. So basically, Bud thought. Russell thought Guy called the meeting.
Who told him that? A cop?
A cop.
And then another cop told
Guy that Russell called the meeting. So now they're at the Victory Motel, and they just a bunch of cars coming towards them, right?
Like woo woo.
No, not cop cars. Just quiet. They're quiet, but you can see the headlights and they're rolling up on them. They're not saying they're not lighting them up or no, because like with the West Hollywood Police Department, not all police departments are in on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they can't just be like, hey, the cops are here.
Yeah.
They have to be quiet, right? So they try to run away from the motel, and there's cars coming from every direction and people just getting out, right? And so they load up on guns. Or their guns, fucking Guy has a revolver. Russell has
shotgun.
Yeah, a shotgun. I was gonna say, was it a rifle? No, it was a shotgun. And they go into one of the abandoned motel rooms and they sort of barricade it up, right? And
who do they think's coming?
Farmer Hoggett and his people.
And gangsters.
Oh, no, the other cops on his payroll.
That are gangsters. No, they're not coming as cops.
No, they're coming as gangsters.
Okay.
These are gangsters that are coming.
Okay.
Gangsters posing as cops. How is that? Right? And so they're hiding and they're talking, and then, Russell tells Guy, like, wouldn't this be a way to go in the line of duty like your dad? And Guy laughs, right? And they're hiding in one of the rooms, and then Guy sees a guy at the window coming up, and he shoots at him. And then the cops just fucking light the place up, right? Mm-hmm. Guy and Russell get on the ground, right? So they're just being missed by all these shots. One of the cops or gangsters busts in the door, but Russell immediately kills him, right? Uh-huh. And so they work together pretty much, and like they like hear what windows the traps are trying to come in, and they kill people trying to come in. And Russell noticed there's a hole in the floorboards and goes down through, right? So he's crawling through below the house, and he sees like some of the cops' legs, mm-hmm. and he shoots at them. And when he shoots them, Guy jumps up in the window and sees the wounded cops, and bam, bam, puts them down.
Yeah.
Right? Fucking nuts. More cops start breaking into the room, and Guy shoots them down, but he gets overwhelmed. There's too many. His gun his gun is out of bullets. He takes one in the shoulder.
Okay.
Right? And so he's like scooting to the corner of the house, trying to reload his gun, and there's 2 gangsters coming for him, right? And just as they're about to corner him, fucking Russell just pops up from the floorboards, bam, bam, takes him down.
Nice.
Right? So
teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does. It really does. Russell, kills the gunman, gets up, and helps Guy up. And when he helps Guy up, he notices Captain Hoggett is right behind Guy. So he pushes Guy out of the way, and Hoggett, bam, bam, puts 2 shots in Russell as he runs towards him. Uh-huh. And Russell falls to the ground. Right? So when Russell pushes Bud out of the way, he falls to the ground as well. So Guy is just on the ground, and Captain Hoggett points his gun at him, and Guy goes, "Rollo Tomasi," and Hoggett goes, "Who is he?" He goes, "You're the guy who gets away with everything." And he cocks his gun. Hoggett cocks his gun. He points it at Guy, and just as about to shoot, Bud from the ground finds something sharp.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Russell Crowe finds something sharp and stabs Hoggett in the leg. And Hoggett goes, "Ah!" and he points his gun down and shoots him in the face. When he does that, the confusion from shooting him in the face gives Guy just enough time to grab like a rifle off one of the dead guys or shotguns and point it at Captain Hoggett. And Hoggett's he drops his gun, and you hear the sirens coming in the background. Woo, 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 woo. And then Hoggett goes, "So what are you going to do? Are you going to arrest me, or are you going to shoot me?" And Guy does nothing. And Hoggett goes, "Good lad, always the politician. You let me do the talking, and after I'm done, they'll make you chief of detectives." All right. And so they walk outside. They start walking outside, and Hoggett is like, "Hey, hold your badge up so they know you're police." So Hoggett takes out his badge, starts walking away, right? And just as the cops are about to turn the corner, you see their headlights coming, fucking Guy shoots him in the back. Hoggett goes down. Guy puts his badge up, and then the cops come.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We love it.
Mm-hmm. We cut to an interrogation room. Guy is being interrogated, and he is telling the truth.
Everything.
He's saying everything. He breaks pretty much everything you figured out on this way. He just breaks it down in sentences. This is what's happening. This is the reason why there's stolen heroin involved. He tells him everything. He's not holding back, right? And the DA and the police chief are watching, from the beginning of the movie. And he goes, "Man, your golden boy is going to confess his whole life away," right? And then as he breaks down the case, the 2 realize, "Oh, this is a PR nightmare. How are we going to deal with that?" And the police chief goes, "Okay, we'll deal it with the press. We'll try to make Hoggett look like a hero in this situation so it doesn't look as bad. We'll try to say it was like the other cops that were doing it, and Hoggett was trying to stop it." And then Guy goes, "Well, you're going to need another hero." He smiles and goes, "Well, you're going to need another hero."
Politician.
Yep. So the next scene, we see Guy getting a Medal of Valor, another Medal of Honor, Medal of Honor thing, right? And Dudley, Captain Hoggett also dies a hero in the press. So like the shame stays off the LAPD. They're able to.
It goes on Russell Crowe?
No, it goes on the other cops at the thing. Right. I think Russell Crowe probably takes some of it too. But so at the Medal of Valor, at the Medal of Honor ceremony, Kim shows up, right? And then Guy sees her and he laughs and he walks her to her car, you know? And in the car, you see Bud and he's sitting there and he's all fucked up. But when...
Russell Crowe?
Yeah. You see Russell Crowe because when the captain shot him through the face, he only shot through one cheek. Yeah. Yeah. And so Russell Crowe and Guy, they don't say anything. They just clasp hands and they just look into each other's eyes like fucking brothers. We did this shit. And then Kim, you know, he says bye. And then he talks to Kim like Guy says, you know, Kim says to Guy, some people get the world. Sorry, yeah. Kim says to Guy, some people get the world. You're looking at like all the stuff the guy. And then some people just get ex-hookers and a trip to Bisbee, Arizona. And she kisses Guy on the cheek. She hops in the car. They drive away. Bud from the back of the car waves bye to Guy. And then they just drive off down the street. LA Confidential.
Wow. That's a long fucking movie.
It is a long movie. It is a long, and it's a mystery. So you know what I mean? Every detail means something.
Golly.
Yeah.
Seems like it's going to be good, though.
Yes.
Seems like it's going to be good, buddy.
The actors are great.
Acting seems great.
Yeah.
Mystery's great. I like it. I knew you could tell what's his name was a bad dude.
Yeah.
Farmer Hoggett.
Right.
But I thought Guy Pearce was going to be a bad guy.
No, he
ended up being a good guy. But I thought he was going to be in on it with Farmer Hoggett.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
what I
interesting.
thought.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I knew Russell Crowe wasn't in on it because he's working with Farmer Hoggett. So I was like, he's too close.
He's too
when
close.
you're too close, you can't see shit.
Right.
You know?
Right. And so. it's better for the bad person to the closest person doesn't see anything.
No, that's why and also that's how you can get that person to do all your dirty work.
Right.
Because they don't really know what's going all the way on.
Do you remember The Prestige? Mm-hmm. When the guys who took his clones away, the dead clones were all blind?
I don't remember it like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's yeah. So you excited?
Oh, that's great! I can't wait to watch it, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to see it.
Yeah, I heard the name a million times. Knew it was a big Oscar movie.
Yes.
Didn't know it lost to Titanic, which is funny.
Yeah. I mean, because Titanic is the better movie. Obviously.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I haven't. There was no fucking ship crash in this, so it's kind of hard to compete. It's kind of like
fair.
Titanic was the first Marvel movie of its time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just a big budget.
There was no major tone shift in this movie that was like, oh wow.
Yeah, nigga, 3,000 people didn't die.
Yeah.
3,000 people died in this movie. I'm like, bro, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people died though. A lot of people died.
A lot of people died.
Hookers, which is
actually
awesome.
just one dead hooker.
Yep, that's a lot.
That is.
I don't know if you know that.
I mean. Not if you ask our police departments.
The police is always shady, man.
Yeah. They're always
power, bro. Too much power.
Who's gonna watch The Watchmen? You know,
dude. Fucking that dude in the Rorschach. What's his name?
But
with a painted face on.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to see this movie.
Me too. I'm excited. Did you rent it or did you buy it?
No, it's bought. It's on Amazon Prime. Baby.
How much was it?
It was $7.
It was. Oh, gee, I get it.
It was cheaper.
Sometimes the rent will be $3.99 on Amazon Prime, and then the buy will be $7.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the rent will be $2.99, but to buy it
will be $30,000.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It's like, why does Fox and the Hound cost this much?
Yeah. But like, here's this Academy Award-winning movie that's like 2.5 hours long.
Really and they're close.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But come back next week, Beaners. You beanie beans.
Beanie bean.
Thanks for listening.
Beanolodian. All right.